Join now.
Hello, Peterborough and Windsor hockey fans. Welcome to Pete's Hockey Replay here on McLean 100 Cable TV, Channel 6, Peterborough. This is Gary Hahn, along with color commentator Kevin Barron and our statistician Brian Sage, to bring you this fourth game in the best-of-7 Ontario Hockey League Championship Series. All the cliches apply, Kevin. The Petes have their backs against the wall. There's no tomorrow. They're in a must-win situation. The question is, can the Petes prolong this series?
Well, Gary, I guess it all depends as they go into tonight's game. You know, the feeling in the dressing room, really, and you know, like if the Petes come out maybe a little bit of a loosey-goosey style, they could always surprise the Windsor Spitfires. But I think if everybody's a little uptight, a little nervous, then it could come back to haunt you. So only time will tell. Probably 2.5 hours, we'll know.
Referee, as you see, for the hockey game is Dave Lynch. He worked the opening game in this series in Windsor. Starting goaltenders for the Peterborough Petes, number 30, Todd Boysoon. 7 wins and 3 losses in the playoffs, a goals against average of 4.0. And of course, Pat Jablonski, number 35 for the Windsor Spitfires. 7 wins in the playoffs, an average of 3.27. And really, I feel that Jablonski's goaltending may have been the difference in a couple of games in this series.
I think so, Gary. I think game 2 here at the Memorial Center, I think we had him first star, and certainly he was in that game. He was a big part of their initial hockey game when they were down 2-0. He made some big saves. But here we go with game 4. Take it away, Gary Hahn.
Jean-Paul Gourley faked a shot at the blue line and put Kelly Kane, his centerman, offside. So we have a stoppage in play after 8 seconds here at the Memorial Center. Just to recap, the opening game in Windsor before 3,710, a 7-4 victory for the Windsor Spitfires. Game 2, 3,891 in Peterborough as Windsor won 5-3, and the Spitfires took the third game 5-3 before 3,816 in Windsor. And here we are, game 4 of the Ontario Hockey League Championship Final. The Petes, of course, in the maroon and white, and the Windsor CompuWare Spitfires in their orange, brown, and white as the puck goes out of play. Another stoppage after just 23 seconds.
Gary, game 1, of course, it was 7-4 down in Windsor. Game 2 here in Peterborough was 5-3. Game 3 in Windsor was also 5-3. And at some point in time in each of those 3 hockey games, the Peterborough Petes had a lead. The biggest lead was in game 2 when they had a 2-0 lead.
Here comes the Petes, Ross Wilson. Wilson, owned by the Los Angeles Kings of the NHL, turned it over. Hampton put it behind the goal. It's loose at the end boards. Gourley hands it to Featherstone behind the net. Featherstone, hurried by Dave Lorentz, got it ahead to Haas. Haas looking into the middle off the skate of Gourley at the defense. Dashley off the boards at center, and Wilson knocks it in. Jablonski is out to play it, decides to freeze it as Dave Lorentz was in quickly, bothered by Hampton. And so we'll get a face-off deep in Spitfires territory to the right of overage veteran Pat Jablonski of the Spitfires.
Little shoving match right at the end of that play between Hampton and Lorentz as Jablonski throws up the rolling puck. So we have line changes for both teams here. Not quite a minute played in the hockey game.
Kevin Dave Lynch working the game tonight. He refereed the opening game. Jim Lever did game 2 in the series, and the referee for game 3 was Murray Darrow. And I think, again, we can say the best linesman in the OHL working this one, Mr. Zabucki and Mr. Neuendijk. Petes have the puck in Windsor territory. Reach out front for Domi, hopped over his stick, and it's controlled by the Spitfires. Out to center ice, dumped in by Shannon. After the puck is DeBoer. DeBoer threw it back, controlled by the Petes, dumped out to center. Ty Domi with Ricci. Domi inside the blue line, big slap shot off the goal post. Ty Domi hit the post. First good scoring opportunity in the hockey game. At center, Corey Foster throws it back in. Pete's clear the blue line. It's Shannon at center ice for the Spitfires. Shannon dumps it to the Peterborough corner. Heward off the boards and out to center ice. Back for it is number 4, Daryl Shannon. Off the stick of Ty Domi, who's forechecking. And the Petes doing a good job of forechecking early in this hockey game. We played a minute and 40 seconds. Delayed offside. The Petes clear the zone. And Peterborough make a line change as play continues. Shannon to center. Throws it again into the Peterborough corner. Dallas Aikens is back as the Spitfires make a wholesale line change. Puck bouncing at center. McVicker throws it in. Yablonski deflects the puck to the corner. Featherstone is there. Featherstone leaves it for number 11, Jones. Jones back for Featherstone in the corner. He's got Graves at the boards. The high flip is out to center ice. McVicker. Andy McVicker, the Halifax native, at center ice. He's got Hull on his left. Andy McVicker, wrist shot blocked at the defense by Krasowski, and it's cleared up and out of play by the Windsor Spitfires, who take no chances in their own defensive zone. 17 minutes and 41 seconds to go. First period action. No score as we see Dick Todd and Terry Bovair behind the Peterborough Petes bench. And again, Terry Bovair wearing the headset there, as you see in the middle. And up in the press box on the far side of the building is Roger Nielsen in communication with Terry Bovair. From the draw, Jensen moves up. He's on his backhand. Puts the puck around the boards. Jablonski out again. Puts the puck to the corner for Krasowski. Krasowski down the fence. It's Jensen at center ice into his own zone. Hands the puck across for Dallas Aikens. Aikens with Jody Hull. Went off Graves' stick. Mark Freer. He's got McVicker in the far side. Here's Andy McVicker backhand. There's going to be a penalty by referee Dave Lynch. It'll be the first power play opportunity of the hockey game, and the Petes will have the man advantage.
Gary, in the initial going of the hockey game, it looks like the Windsor Spitfires are the more uptight or nervous of the two hockey teams, and certainly the Petes have carried the play here in the opening 3 minutes or so of this hockey game, and now they're going to end up getting a penalty. But here's a good chance with Andy McVicker sliding it through. He just tried to put it between the 5-hole of Jablonski's legs, but there we see Jones going to the penalty box, so the first power play opportunity goes tonight to the Petes. Just again, when the Ricci line was out with Billy Heward and Ty Domi, Domi rattled one off the goalpost, best scoring opportunity of the hockey game.
From the face-off, Jensen back to the point to Dagenet. His shot actually went off Ross Wilson, who's all tied up with Shannon. Their skates were locked, and it's Ricci in the corner. Ricci, who started the season as a 15-year-old. Behind the net, controlled by the Petes. Wilson looking back to the point. That's intercepted by Graves. Adam Graves down the right side. He's got Kane in the middle. There's the shot. That went wide of the net. A minute and 30 seconds left in the Windsor penalty. And they hold it long enough for a face-off inside the Peterborough line. 16:47 to go, first period action. No score as we look at Dan Jensen.
Gary, a couple changes in the lineup for both teams tonight. Jamie Hicks dressed for the Petes. He's back for the first game in about, 6-8 weeks after a broken ankle in Belleville. And of course, Jeff Mascarin, last year defenseman for the Windsor Spitfires. He's, of course, separated his shoulder down in the corner where the face-off is here right now in game 2. And he's replaced in the lineup by Tom Purcell.
Dallas Aikens. Pass on the left wing boards for Jody Hull. Couldn't control it. Thrown back out by Krasowski. Foster to Hull over the blue line. Freer in the center. Comes back to Dallas Aikens. He's got McVicker in the slot. Big rebound off Jablonski. Corey Foster hit that one labeled. And the right catching glove of Jablonski deflects the puck out of play.
Gary, it all started right at the Windsor blue line. There's Corey Foster shaking his head. He could see that top corner, and it was there, but it starts with a pass off a leg. Comes right to Dallas Aikens, and the rebound comes out high. Now watch the glove save. There you see it. It was labeled for that top right-hand corner, but Jablonski again early in this hockey game coming up with a pretty big spot.
Pretty good goaltender sitting down there on the stage, Kevin, watching Jablonski. His name is Johnny Bauer. Waiting for Jody Hull to get a new piece of lumber, and we're ready to continue with a minute and 5 seconds left in the Peterborough power play. 16:21 to go in the opening period. No score in Game 4 of the OHL final. Dallas Aikens back to the point. Corey Foster, he's got that big slap shot. Wings it off the boards into the corner. Hampton there with McVicker. It's left for Jody Hull. Hull back to the point to Foster. Shot! And I thought that went off Featherstone. It may have gone off Jablonski. McVicker tried to center it. Jablonski is there. Put his hand on it. Threw it behind. Play continues. Freer back to the point to Dallas Aikens. Aikens shot. Jablonski with that left leg kicks it out. Freer in the corner against Hampton. It's picked up by McVicker. Puts it around behind the net. Controlled by Jody Hull. Back to Corey Foster. Back to Hull. His shot in a crowd didn't reach the goaltender. Did dribble through, but the initial shot blocked at the side of the net. Mark Freer all tied up with Featherstone.
Gary, if the Spitfires expected the Petes to roll over and play dead, they certainly have it here in the opening 5 minutes of the hockey game as we see the Windsor Spitfire bench. Tom Webster there just at the top of your screen. 33 of the last 34 games. Pretty impressive record for the Windsor Spitfires, and certainly have not lost any in the playoffs here. One win away from advancing to Chicoutimi, Quebec to play in the Memorial Cup.
Freer, Hull, and McVicker remain on the ice as the power play unit for Dick Todd's Petes. Behind the net to Andy McVicker. Tried to throw it out quickly. Dallas Aikens couldn't keep it in off a skate. Foster at center. 15 seconds left in the Windsor penalty. Freer put himself offside at the blue line. 15 seconds to go in the penalty. 15:31 left in the opening period.
A couple good shots, Gary, on the power play from Corey Foster. The one we've showed on the replay with the good glove save, and then Jody Hull teed one up for Corey, and he stepped into it, and again just went off the side of the net on a low shot through a screen that I don't think Jablonski was able to see it, but certainly the Petes have had the better scoring opportunities, albeit 2 minutes of it has been on a power play here.
Shannon hands it back to his brother, and it's thrown down the ice. Jensen in his own zone for the Petes. Windsor players standing at the penalty box. The Petes will be charged with icing. So we have 15:15 to go in the opening period. Windsor have successfully killed off the first minor penalty of the hockey game. And Kevin, it's got to be an exciting moment for Jamie Hicks just to be back in the lineup.
I think, Gary, a lot of pain and agony and a lot of hard work for Jamie Hicks to come back for this hockey game tonight. 15:15 here left in the first in a scoreless tie.
Hicks out there with the Gersey and Joe Hawley. Back to the point to Krasowski. His shot in a crowd. That was blocked by Dagenais. Dagenais may be hurt. This is Jamie Hicks, just coming back off that serious injury. Hicks dropped it for Joe Hawley. He lost it, came back to Hicks, and he looked for Hawley, who crossed in front of the goal. Krasowski to the boards. DeBoer gets it out to center and avoided a hard check from Jamie Hicks. Jablonski leaves the puck, put into the corner by Purcell. Shannon is there. The high flip out to center ice, brought down by Jensen. Picked up by Shannon, and it's knocked in by number 12, Wolak. Thrown back out by the Petes. Offside, delayed. Everyone clears the line. Dagenais. Hicks leaves, and Jeff Ingram replaces him on the forward line. Hawley now makes his way to the bench, and Ross Wilson's out. This is Ingram in the corner. Number 23, the Petes. Steps right out. Jablonski went down on his knees, made 2 saves, and it's finally picked off by Wolak. Fans looking for a penalty behind the play. There will be none. We have played 6 minutes in the opening period. Still no score in the hockey game. Trying to get loose is Dave Lorentz down the wing. Featherstone's there first. Hawes off the boards to center. Handed back to Barr. Barr back up to Ingram. He's got Lorentz on the left side. Lorentz put himself offside. And we're down to 13:53 to go in the opening period.
Of course, both teams have played 11 games in the playoffs, and the point leaders for each team: Adam Graves, 14 goals, 16 assists for 30 points. Kelly Kane has got 6 goals, 14 assists for 20 points. For the Petes, Jody Hull in 11 games has 10 goals and 18 points. And Mark Freer with 5 goals and 17 points.
Face off in front of the Peterborough Petes players bench, just outside the Windsor blue line. Face off. Finally controlled by the Petes, and Wilson will throw it in. Featherstone is back. Featherstone checked by Ingram. Hampton off the boards to the blue line. Kane is out there. Long pass for Hawes. Hawes had it knocked away, but Kane follows up. And he didn't get a good shot on goal, even though he was in very tight to the net with the puck. This is Ross Wilson on his off wing, dumps the puck into the corner. Racing after it is Dave Lorentz. He's slowed somewhat by Featherstone to the near corner. Picked up by David Haas. Haas, rink wide for Kane. Kane over center inside the Peterborough line, stops at the blue line. Kane looking for Haas. He comes up out of nowhere. Shot scores! Haas from a sharp angle, and it's 1-0 Spitfires. Strange goal, but Kane was looking for Haas all the way on that left wing.
Pete's a little slow coming back, Gary. He just put it to an open spot, and we'll see it just inside the blue line as Haas picks up and a perfect shot right along the ice just inside the post. But here's Kane. You see him dump it over to the spot. And there you see the shot just along the ice. Not sure whether Todd Boysoon was set for that shot or if he did actually see it come all the way, but it was just inside the post. Maybe we'll get a chance to look at it again. As here's the spot, he just puts it to an open spot, and there's Haas. And we see that Pete's defense was skating in front of that, and I think it just as the player went by, the puck was right behind him, just inside the post. So David Haas scoring his 9th goal of the playoffs.
I'm afraid he got to lay the blame on the goaltender with that one, Kevin. Should have had it with his stick, should have had the angle. Dumped in for Shannon, deep in Spitfire's territory. Throws it back for Hyatt. He's checked by Heward. Left wing passes to Shannon. Shannon stops inside the line, centers. Chance for number 12, Wolak. Wolak taken out of the play by Dallas Aikens. And it's Jensen deep in his zone along the boards for Heward. He just gets it out to center. And it's flipped back in by Tony DeBoer. Pardon me, Peter DeBoer. Get the DeBoer brothers mixed up.
Tony's brother.
Yes. Ty Domi trying to get started. Knocked down from behind. The fans look for a penalty again. Off the boards and moved up for Wolak. Wolak was checked by Jensen. Dallas Aikens couldn't get it out, but got the puck back. Approaching the middle of the first period. Windsor lead 1-0. Heward down the right side. Ricci in the middle. Lost the puck. Nice play by Shannon. Never did have control of it, but just kept it away from Heward. Into the corner. Mark Barr is there. 11 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the opening period. Cleared down the ice by the Petes. No icing, as Hampton could have played it. Jablonski leaves it for Hampton. Domi circles the net. It's moved up to Graves. Graves leading the rush. Long slap shot. Glove saved by Todd Boysoon. And with Jones, number 11, in quickly, Boysoon hangs on for the face-off deep in Peterborough territory.
David Haas, as we mentioned, of getting the lone goal so far in the hockey game, is 9th of the playoffs. Kelly Keane getting the lone assist at 6:51 of the first period. So the Spitfires out on top 1-0, and I'm sure Coach Tom Webster a little relieved because after some of the good chances that the Petes had, the Spitfires get the opening goal.
Hampton's shot goes into the corner. Boysoon is out. Almost checked from behind. It bounces up off the glove of Wilkinson. It's all right, according to the referee. Out front for Graves, and that was blocked by Mark Barr. Adam Graves trying to get that quick shot away. Mark Barr went down and smothered the puck. The score remains 1-0 Windsor. There is the hockey player that the Detroit Red Wings have big plans for somewhere down the road.
Probably next year, Gary, I would think. Adam Graves, captain of the Spitfires, certainly one of their team leaders.
Barr moves the puck to the boards. Thrown out to center by McVicker. Freer picked it up. Jody Hull stays on side, but Freer lost the puck. Andy McVicker in the neutral zone. Long slap shot. Glove saved by Jablonski. Picked up by Krasowski. Off the glass to the point. Barr pinches in and kept it in momentarily. It's finally moved out by number 8 of the Spitfires, Wilkinson. Trying to get free is Jones with Graves. Back to Jones. And Mark Barr picked up a loose puck. Jody Hull deep in his own zone around the boards for Andy McVicker. McVicker into the center for Freer off his skate. Dagenais trails and picks up the puck. Dagenais just throws it behind the net as the Petes are changing on the go. Spitfires move the puck to center ice. Adam Graves, it's been a long shift for this line. Graves trying to move it ahead for Gorley. Nice save by Boysoon. Bats the rebound away as well. Joe Hawley is back. He's got Degursey in the far side, but he lost the puck. Jensen throws it across to his partner. Foster ahead, deflected by Hicks. Jablonski is out. He'll move the puck behind the net into the corner. It rolls to David Haas, who has the only goal of the game. Jensen to Foster. 10 minutes gone in the opening period. Foster turns it over, and a chance down the right side, but JP Corley, JP couldn't get to the puck in time. Joe Hawley checking. Featherstone at the point. Slap shot. That went off the leg, I believe, of Kane. Hopefully not Jamie Hicks. Hicks is limping a little bit, so it must have hit the Peterborough player Hicks. And Jamie Hicks goes to the bench. Boy, Kevin, coming off the injury, he's just coming off and get hit in the ankle.
It's a good shot, too, by Featherstone. Gary threw a screen in front. Kane was there with Jamie Hicks, and Featherstone, who's sort of been the unsung hero for the Spitfires here in the playoffs and has played well. 9:32, and Jamie Hicks behind the Peterborough bench trying to walk it off, but he stopped that one. A low shot from Featherstone from the left point, right in front. Again, the puck bounced through, but nobody there to slam it home. 9:32 left here in the first in a 1-0 hockey game in favor of the Spitfires.
Boy, you got to feel sorry for Jamie Hicks, hurrying himself back a little bit to get into the thick of things and then taking a shot like that. The Pete's trail by 1 goal as Dagenet carries it to center. Shannon throws it back out. Spitfire's defense make few mistakes in their own zone. Keep in mind the Pete's had a better goals against average during the regular season, but only by 3 goals. Lorentz was almost lined up there at center ice by DeBoer. This is Krasowski. Hands it across for Shannon, throws it ahead. Touched by Hawes, and they'll bring it back inside the Windsor zone. 9 minutes, 2 seconds to go. Jamie Hicks again out for a bit of a skate in front of the Pete's bench as we have a look at Ross Wilson, who is playing under some duress, not completely healthy, not 100%.
9:02 now left in the first as we see some fans here in attendance at the Memorial Center. But Gary, you mentioned the Windsor defense. They're big, they're strong, they're experienced, and you say, they move the puck well. They don't get rattled in their own end, and certainly play the man tough in front of the net. We even noticed it on the power play. You get the one shot. That's generally all you're going to get. If you're going to stand around front of the net, you're going to be moved, and sure the sign of a very veteran, large defense.
Dallas Aikens at the point, throws it around the boards. Jody Hull, checked by Krasowski, back to the point to Dagenet. His shot went off the leg of Wolak. Freer at the boards. Watched closely by Wolak, back to the point. Dagenet's shot right on the ice, the rebound. Hull put it wide by quite a margin, but Freer has it to the end boards. Shannon picks it up there, checked by Jody Hull. Dallas Aikens moves in, bounces, still bouncing. McVicker couldn't find the handle, and they still keep it in. Freer, Hull, and McVicker with a couple of good opportunities. That was blocked by Krasowski, and the Spitfires bring it out to center. Shannon is 16, just throws the puck into the corner. Spitfires change defense, and the Pete's move it out quickly. Mark Freer leads the way. McVicker on his left. Puts the puck into the corner, and all 3 make their way to the bench. Freer, Hull, and McVicker. Shannon on a slalom course to center, lost the puck. Ty Domi's got some room. Ricci with him. What a play by Featherstone to intercept that pass. Trying to keep it in is Heward, and in doing so, the puck went up and over the glass. Featherstone having words with Ty Domi. That would be a good one.
7:51 here left in the first, Gary, and there you see a few punches being thrown close range. But certainly the Pete's have had the better scoring opportunities other than the 1 goal by the Spitfires. Now Lynch, I think, has said he's had enough, but he's going to call some penalties here. I'm not sure who he's going to finger. Ty Domi and probably Featherstone go off, and we mentioned Featherstone being sort of the unsung hero in the playoffs. Certainly during the year, the Windsor defense played pretty big, and Brad Hyatt and Featherstone are 2 of the main ingredients. Now we have Heward and Jones drop on the stick.
Just a reminder that if this game should be won by the Peterborough Pete's, of course, they would play Game 5 in Windsor Saturday night, and we would have the game for you right here Sunday at 3 o'clock on McLean Hunter Cable TV, Channel 6 Peterborough. That's if the Peterborough Pete's can stay alive by winning this game, Game 4 of the Ontario Hockey League Championship Final. Right now, Windsor leading the game 1-0 on a goal by David Hawes, a sharp angle shot set up by number 10, Kelly Kane. And you saw the big clock, 7:51 to go in the opening period. Offsetting minor penalties, Kevin?
Ty Domi and Glenn Featherstone for roughing at 12:09, Gary. So each team going to play 5 aside.
Mark Barr at center, throws the puck into the corner. Lots of skating room out there. 4 skaters each, plus the goaltenders. Almost a bounce for Jeff Ingram. Shannon has it behind the goal. Hyatt's in front, Ingram watching. Ingram into the corner. Graves came back all the way to help out and play the body. Barr kept it in. Just bounces too far away from Jeff Ingram. Ingram and Lorentz, quality forecheckers. Shannon into the corner. Picked up there by Wilkinson. He's watched closely by Dave Lorentz. Back for Shannon. Those two get off quickly after about 40 seconds of the offsetting minor penalties, and they'll likely be back. Mark Barr took Graves down hard along the boards. Jody Hull with Mark Freer, and Foster moves up as well. Both Foster and Freer anticipating the Hull to move the puck in. They both went deep. Back is Hyatt. His slap shot misses the target, and Freer has it again. 50 seconds left in the offsetting minor penalties. Picked up by Jean-Paul Gourley. He lost it, and they move it back over the blue line. It's Kane. He throws it into the Peterborough corner. Windsor seems to dump to that same corner all the time. The far side is... No one wants to play the puck this time. Kurzowski moves up, and he throws it off the glass. Scares a few of the fans, and I guess it did go up and out of play.
6:16 left here in the first. 25 seconds left in the penalties to Featherstone and Domi. You see more fans here at the Memorial Center. A good crowd again up into the end grays. A few seats vacant, but I'm sure we're looking in the 3,300, 3,500 range for this hockey game. We now have Billy Heward out with Ricci, along with Jensen, Dagenais on defense.
Hampton off the boards into the Pete zone. Dagenais is there. Dagenais up the wing for Heward. Bill Heward backhands it for Ricci. On the near side, Jensen has moved up. Ricci trying to get the puck free. Kurzowski at close quarters with Hampton into the corner, and it's controlled by Hampton. Hampton at the Spitfires off the boards to Kane. He threw it into the middle for Jean-Paul Gourley. Now the offsetting minor penalties are over as the puck goes up and out of play. 5 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the opening period. Just 1 goal so far in the hockey game, scored by the Windsor Spitfires number 20, David Hawes. And Hawes has had quite a series. Of course, in the opening game, the 7-4 victory in Windsor, Hawes had 3 goals and I believe a couple of assists as well. And there we see again Roger Nielsen on the press box in the far side of the rink with the headset on, communicating with assistant Pete's coach Terry Bovair. And on Roger's left, our right as you look, a couple members of the Peterborough Examiner, little Bob Fever and Mike Brophy. Dagenais out of his own zone to center ice over the red line, dumps it in. Ty Domi in on top of Shannon quickly. Good check on Shannon, but Domi went down. Hyatt just put it behind the goal. Heward is there. Ricci's out front. Heward on his backhand looking. Comes out front on his forehand. Shot at Jablonski is there. Bit of a pileup, a lot of activity, but only the one good shot by Bill Heward on his forehand. We're going to have more penalties.
It's Peter DeBoer and Bill Heward, and now Darren Shannon moves in there. And Lynch going to call some more penalties with 5:24 left here in the first. But again, a good play by Billy Heward. You know, we mentioned Glenn Featherstone, the sort of the unsung hero here in the playoffs for the Windsor Spitfires. I think the same could be said about Billy Heward. Certainly the play of Hull, Freer, and McVicker has been outstanding for the Petes throughout the playoffs, but certainly Billy Heward has added a new dimension to that line along with Mike Ricci and Ty Domi, and they've had pretty good success here in the playoffs. And hard work of Bill Heward is paying off.
Offsetting minor penalties again, Kevin.
DeBoer and Heward off for roughing at 14:36. So 5:24 left here in the first, still 1-0, and that goal by David Hawes, his 9th of the playoffs, and Kelly Kane back at 6:51 of the first.
Ty Domi had some words there with Featherstone, and now Domi is called to the bench. And maybe Ty Domi wants to stir things up just a little bit. Ingram takes the face-off against Kane. Puck goes to the boards. Featherstone into the middle. Hampton carries it to center. Hampton tried to pass it to Kane, kept in by Haas, back to Hampton, looking out front for Kane, intercepted by Dagenais. He throws it out into the neutral zone. Jeff Ingram trying to catch up with it. Lorentz was all tied up by Hampton. Pete's keep it in. Dave Lorentz along the boards. Dagenais goes in front of the goal. Here's Dan Jensen, his shot. Jablonski had the angle covered and they hit him with the shot. Jensen in the corner. Now Jeff Ingram covers up for his defenseman in the corner. And the Spitfires bring it back out to center, led by Kelly Kane. Haas is with him. Kane tries to go through the defense. Todd Boysoon will play it to the boards. Dave Lorentz is there, throws it back. Kelly Kane has it. Kane looking for Haas again. Jeff Ingram picks up that loose puck, throws it off the boards and out to center ice. 1 minute left in the offsetting minor penalties. 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the opening period. Haas again in the corner, this time checked by Dagenais. Jensen, watched by Graves. Graves steals it, stops in the corner, looks for Haas out front, and that was deflected away by Dagenais and down the ice. Shannon is back as the Petes change 5 players. The defense a little slow to get off the ice and get back on from the bench. This is Freer with 4 minutes left in the period to Jody Hull. Hull working against Krasowski. Shannon picks up the loose puck. Spitfires playing the man so well inside their own zone. Shannon backhands the puck to the Peterborough corner. Freer is there with Shannon and Graves. Spitfires looking to throw it back to the point. Shannon fell, did get it back, however. Shot kicked away by Boysoon. 10 seconds left in the offsetting minors. This is Shannon at the point, trying to get the puck around Mark Freer. He's looking for Jody Hull, but it's a 2-line pass that originated inside the Peterborough blue line, taken by Hull over the center ice red line.
4 seconds now left in the penalties to Heward and DeBoer. Face-off now will come back inside. It was a pass that originated just inside the blue line where you see Rick Zabucki as we take a look at Mark Freer. He will be Don Barry's first intermission guest.
One of the graduating Petes, Kevin.
One of the few graduating Petes, Gary. 3:28 now left here in the first. 1-0 Windsor.
Face-off just inside the Peterborough blue line where that pass originated. In 4 seconds, both teams will be back to full complements. Looks like about 3,600 in attendance for this 4th game of the Ontario Hockey League final at the Memorial Centre. That's just a rough guess, but I'm normally pretty close, Kevin. Puck comes outside the blue line from the draw, knocked back in by Shannon. Now both teams at full strength with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in the first period. Bill Heward inside his own zone, looks across to Domi. Domi will race into the zone as it's shot in. Jablonski played it with his stick over his head, and the Petes just can't get a bounce. DeBoer misses a check from Heward, and Windsor go offside at the Peterborough blue line with 3 minutes to play in the opening period. Kevin, when is that puck going to lie flat for the Petes when they want it?
That's right, Gary, a long clearing pass in off the end board and come right back, and both the defenseman and Jablonski missed it. As we see Mike Dagenais, number 4 of the Petes.
Kevin, we were talking prior to the start of this game. I don't think we've ever seen as many scouts in attendance as we see tonight, and there is one man who's seen a lot of hockey in his time, Johnny Bauer, one of the true great NHL goaltenders. Boy, I was a hero of his, or he was a hero of mine for so many years.
Ageless Johnny Bauer.
No question about it. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the period. Ricci. Domi is knocked down. Play continues. It's awful hard for Ty Domi to draw a penalty the way he plays hockey. Play at center. DeBoer knocks it into the Pete zone. Spitfires change their defense. Allows the Petes to come back, but Heward just gives it away. Hampton has to go back into the corner. Here comes number 8, the pit bull. And Domi with the check at the end boards on Hampton. So Ty Domi is going to get his share of body checks in this hockey game, if nothing else. Just over 2 minutes to go in the period. Jensen to center ice. Krasowski is there, throws it into the Peterborough zone. Dallas Aikens down the boards. Lorentz got it out to center. Another penalty coming up. This time the Petes will get the gate. Jablonski races to the Spitfires bench. 6 skaters now for Windsor on the ice as Dallas Aikens touches the puck. cross-checking the early indication from referee Dave Lynch. So with 1 minute and 48 seconds left in the first period, for the first time in the game, the Petes will be shorthanded.
There you see Captain Dallas Aikens working his way to the penalty bench, a cross-checking penalty, and with Windsor bench number 35, Jablonski, who's again come up with some big stops here in the hockey game in this first period to keep the Windsor one-goal lead.
Kevin, I don't know how old Greg Millen is, but Jablonski should figure in the plans somewhere down the line of the St. Louis Blues.
Sure, Gary, that's one reason why Rick Wamsley was moved to the Calgary Flames, I'm sure, to create a spot, whether it be at St. Louis or somewhere in their organization, but I'm sure Jablonski rates high in their plans.
So let's set up the Windsor Spitfire power play. We've got Shannon and Hyatt on defense. It's Kane, Haas, and J.P. Gorley up front for the Spitfires. With 1.5 minutes left in the first period, Shannon at the point, just wide of the net, and it was right on the ice. A good place for someone to get their stick and get a piece of that puck. Shannon back in his own zone, dumps the puck to the corner for Hyatt. Hyatt throws it to the boards. Spitfires move that puck well in their own zone. This is Kelly Kane into the center for Haas. Haas off the boards, looking back, throws it to the end boards. Kane is there. Gorley's in front of the net. It bounces. Kane and Foster, and Corey Foster throws it down the ice. 55 seconds to go in the first period. Mark Freer, trying to get the puck down the ice, closed his hand on it for just a moment. The Pete's trying to get it out. It went off a body. And finally, Corey Foster bangs it off the boards and down the ice. 40 seconds left in the first period. Pete's trail 1-0. Windsor on the power play. Hyatt to the boards for Shannon. Daryl Shannon to Darren Shannon. Boysoon stops it for Dagenais around the boards. It's stopped, however, by Wolak. Out front for Shannon all alone. He put it wide. What a setup. Left all alone, and they missed the net. 10 seconds left in the period. To the end boards, they'll try to step out. Scores! Shannon, who missed the opportunity earlier. A power play goal. The Spitfires lead 2-0.
Boy, Gary, it's a chance where the Spitfires missed the best opportunity, but then paid dividends on the second opportunity. Darren Shannon, a first-round pick, and maybe we'll get a chance to look at the play here. There's the first one where he just put it wide of the corner, and then it'll come right back to him at the side of the net. He just stuffs it from the side. Here you go, right there. It'll again, right along the ice, inside the far post.
Can we roll it back a little further and see that first opportunity? I was surprised Shannon initially was that wide open in front of the goal. 8 seconds left in the first period. Another late goal by the Spitfires, and they have a history of that in this series.
Certainly, Gary, in game one, they scored a goal with, 20 seconds left? Or sorry, make that 2 seconds left in game one, and then in game two with 20 seconds left, as now we have DeGursey and Bennick having a few words, but Gil Neuendijk and Rick Zabucky and referee Dave Lynch look after that little affair, and both teams headed for the dressing room at the end of one period.
So after 20 minutes in game 4 of the Ontario Hockey League Championship Final, the Windsor Spitfires own a 2-0 lead, and they are now just 40 minutes away from that trip to Chicoutimi, Quebec, as Ontario Hockey League representatives at the Memorial Cup. We'll go downstairs in just a moment and join Don Barry and his special intermission guest. First of all, Kevin Barron has the opening period statistics.
11-9, Gary, were shots on goal in favor of the Petes. And I think that really told the tale of Peterborough, and especially initial going, had some good opportunities on a power play. They hit a goal post right off the second shift, but it was David Haas scoring his 9th of the playoffs, and Kelly Kane at 6:51 got the ball rolling for the Spitfires, and then a power play goal by Darren Shannon, his 5th of the playoff from Graves at 19:52, and that's the 2 goals that we have here at the first period. 3 penalties to each side, each team enjoying a power play. So at the end of 1, Windsor 2, the Petes nothing.
Welcome back for period 2 of this game 4 of the best of 7 OHL final between the Peterborough Petes and the Windsor Spitfires. After 20 minutes, Windsor own a 2-0 lead.
David Hawes and Darren Shannon, Gary scoring the 2 goals for the Spitfires in that one with 8 seconds left. And we mentioned in game 2, the big goal that the Spits scored, the third one looked like a killer. Now we're starting to wonder whether that second one, you know, could really hurt the Petes.
Here's a chance for Jeff Ingram. He's onside. Coming up is Dave Lorentz into the center for Lorentz. Following Dallas Aikens, put the shot wide. Somehow Dallas Aikens missed the entire net. Ross Wilson around the boards. Opening minute, second period action here at the Memorial Center. Dave Lorentz stops behind the goal, throws it out front. Ingram's shot went wide in the short side. And the Petes coming out quickly here to start the second period. Down 2-0. Shot from the point deflected. Lorentz a backhand shot. Jablonski stood his ground. Wilson centers it out front. It rolls to Jablonski, and he makes the save and hangs on. Kevin, what a start for the Petes.
Harry, they had a good start in the first period, but this guy Jablonski, there you see him, Pat Jablonski, number 35, standing tall in that Windsor net. But the best one was Dallas Aikens, fired it wide, and then this pass out from the corner is good forechecking by the so-called checking line of the Petes. It'll come back to the point and a redeflected shot, and there's the scramble in front. Coming up right here. No, I guess not, but a good chance for the Petes against the so-called checking line.
This is Gary Hahn along with Kevin Barron and our statistician, Brian Sage. A shot from the point is stopped by Jablonski. Shannon has the puck, hanks it off the boards, picked up by DeBoer at center. Peter DeBoer inside the Petes line. Shot blocked at the defense by Corey Foster. DeBoer got it back again. Bouncing behind the goal, and Jody Hull is there. Hull, drafted by the Petes from the Cambridge Junior B Winterhawks. Dropped back for Hyatt. Hyatt flips the puck down the ice. Over Foster's head, icing indicated, he'll touch it, and icing charged against the Windsor Spitfires. You're watching McLean Hutter Cable TV, Channel 6 Peterborough, Cable 11 in Windsor, and we'd like to welcome everyone watching down in the Border City this 4th game of the Best of 7 OHL Final. Kevin, it's been a real treat being able to exchange tapes and be able to see each and every game in this Ontario Hockey League Final Series.
Of course, we want to thank Robert Scuselin from Cable TV in Windsor, Cable 11. He's here, in fact, made the trip up from Windsor today. All expenses paid, I heard too. Gary, 1844 left here in the second, 2-0.
Yeah, he's supposed to stay at the Hahn Hotel, but I don't know if I can give receipts. Bounces in front of the net. Hyatt trying to clear it. Shot it off the end boards. McVicker left it, and Adam Graves picks up the puck in his own zone. Graves moved it ahead. Taken by Wilkinson, number 8. Wilkinson gaining speed inside the Peterborough line. Wrist shot, pad save by Boysoon. Big rebound. There's a shot. Boysoon just got a piece of it. They finally score. Graves, I guess. I thought it was number 8, but I believe Graves finally put it away. And after the Petes come out with a flurry to open the period, Windsor score the first goal of the second.
Here we'll see it, Gary. It's a long shot at the good pad save by Todd Boysoon, but then the loose puck. There's the shot. Just rolls in behind Boysoon, and Graves right there to pounce on a loose puck. And certainly Windsor have been the opportunist in this hockey game and throughout the series, and maybe we get a chance here to look at it again. Here's the shot from the slot, the pad save, the rebound, and as Boysoon knocks it right onto the Windsor player, there you got a piece of it. But there's Graves all alone. Now we're going to see John Tanner for the first time in this series. He played, game 4 in the Marley series in Toronto when the Petes eliminated the Toronto Marlboros. But now John Tanner will come in here with 18 and 19 seconds left in the second period. He will come in and play goal for the Petes. Todd Boysoon getting a much-deserved rest.
So we will see the other half of the Petes rookie netminding.
The Gold Dust Twins.
The Gold Dust Twins. Wilkinson carries it in. There's the shot just wide by Jones, number 11. And they should try to test John Tanner early and repeatedly here in the second period as he comes off the bench cold, not expecting to play in this hockey game. 2 minutes gone in the second period. Windsor lead 3-0. Here's Adam Graves again. Tried to center it, broken up by the combination of Corey Foster and Jody Hull. Petes make a wholesale line change. Clear down the ice. Bad play by the Spitfires. They just turn it over, and we'll get a face-off back deep in Windsor territory. 7:43 left in the second period. Again, I don't want to harp on it, but the Petes came out just a fly-in to start the second period. Had maybe 3 good scoring opportunities on one shift, and then Windsor come down the ice, and as always is the case, they score first in the period.
Gary, we mentioned the Pete's checking line, the play of Ingram, Lawrence, and Ross Wilson, and certainly this line of Adam Graves, Ron Jones, and Wilkinson, known as the checking line, and they cash in here with Graves scoring his 15th, Jones and Wilkinson at 141.
Hampton, I believe, will get the gate as the Peterborough player was knocked down in the slot area, Bill Heward. So with 17 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the second period, the Peterborough Petes will try to get on the scoreboard as Hampton goes to the sin bin. Peterborough's second power play opportunity of the hockey game.
Notice Todd Boysoon standing over at the gate there for the Petes as we see Hampton in the Windsor Spitfire penalty bench. I'm sure Todd Boysoon not happy with his play tonight. I'm sure he'd be the first guy to tell you. But there will be another day, I'm sure, in the life of Todd Boysoon playing nets for the Peterborough Petes.
Well, Kevin, when you consider the fact that 2 rookie goaltenders recorded the best goals against average in the Ontario Hockey League, I don't know if that's ever been done before by a pair of goaltenders, but it's quite a record.
And Gary, I guess the other thing to just expand on that a little bit here, the Spitfires, who were second, as you mentioned in the first period, 3 goals difference with a very veteran defense. And I think if you ask people around the OHL, you figured the Petes had kind of more or less a no-name defense, really. That seemed to put it all together, led by Captain Dallas Aikens and overage. But certainly I would think anybody going in at the start of the season, as I say, with a no-name defense and 2 rookie goaltenders, that you wouldn't be looking at winning the goals against award.
Dasnay shot from the point. It's still loose in front of the goal. Ross Wilson couldn't get his stick loose. Graves was pulled down by Ricci. Ricci just trying to get on side of the blue line. It's thrown in by the Petes. Rolls around the boards. Graves took a check. Ricci back to Jensen. His slap shot. Yablonski the save. Rebound. And Heward can't get his stick free. They score! Heward kicked the puck up onto the right side, and Ross Wilson gives the Petes a power play goal there first of the night. There was going to be a penalty called as well.
There was a holding penalty, Gary, and I'm sure it was on Ross Wilson, or on Bill Heward for holding Bill Heward's stick, but a fine play. He couldn't kick it into net, needless to say it wouldn't count, but he kicked it over to Ross Wilson, who was all alone right at the side. That starts back with a point shot from Dan Jensen from the left side as Mike Ricci puts it back to him, and now you watch it front. There's Bill Heward just kicking it over, and there's Ross Wilson depositing it in behind Yablonski. So the Petes finally would get some dividends from some hard work, getting a goal on the power play. For Ross Wilson, his second of the playoffs.
Kevin, here it is one more time. Watch the footwork of Bill Heward. What a great play. Sometimes, you know, you see parents come out to minor hockey practices and you don't use the sticks and you just see the kids kicking the puck. Here's a chance for John Paul Gorley. Try to get around Corey Foster. They both went down to the ice, and it's controlled by the Petes again out to center. Peterborough trying to gain some momentum with that goal, trailing 3-1 early in the second period. In the neutral zone, it's David Haas. He has scored once earlier tonight. Haas working against Dallas Aikens. Aikens turned him around. Puck is loose in the corner. Gorley is there. Took a check from Jeff Ingram, but Gorley still has the puck. Tried to center it. Here's a chance for Kane right out front on his backhand. Haas! Bad save by John Tanner. Went down into the butterfly. Made the save with his left leg. Puck is still loose. Another penalty. The Petes are going to get the gate this time. It's touched by Wilson, and Peterborough will take a minor penalty here.
John Tanner kicking out the left foot, Gary, on a shot right along the ice. Made the save, but the Spitfires forced the Petes into a penalty. Ross Wilson is second of the playoffs of Bill Heward, and Dan Jensen should get an assist in there, firing it from the point.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll have one added later to Dan Jensen. 2:54 the time, so just a minute and 10 seconds after the Spitfires went up 3-0. The Petes get one back at the power play, now have to kill off a 2-minute penalty. And I think the same things as we said in game 2 hold true. Certainly the Petes got to keep the Spitfires 4 goals or less, I would think, of any chance of winning.
Graves takes the face-off against Mark Freer. Premature movement. The point I was trying to make, Kevin, is, you know, sometimes you do some really silly-looking drills in practice, but when you can apply them the way Bill Heward realized how natural it was to kick the puck up to Ross Wilson, it certainly makes some of those strange-looking drills in practice worthwhile. I used to be criticized as a minor hockey coach for weird drills. Jensen around for Jody Hull. Hull, Freer, Aikens, and Jensen, the penalty killers for the Petes. And for the Windsor CompuWare Spitfires, Hampton is playing defense. Good forechecking by Jody Hull. In deep now, Mark Freer will move in and Hull will pull back. Shannon is out there with Wolak and Graves. Hampton and Featherstone, the defenders on the blue line for Windsor. Freer down the ice. Back forward is Featherstone. He's watched closely by Jody Hull. Here's a chance for Freer. Boy, would the Petes ever love a shorthanded goal right about now. Wolak gaining speed to center ice. Hook to the ice. Right in front of the referee, Dave Lynch. An obvious penalty call, but nothing seemed to bother Dave Lynch about that play right in front of him. Pretty hard not to see it. 1 minute left in the Peterborough penalty. Wolak. Shot partially blocked by Dallas Aikens. Dagenais bangs it off the boards and down the ice. 45 seconds left in the Peterborough penalty. 14 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the second period. Windsor lead 3-1, trying to add to it on the power play. Rink-wide pass is on the stick of Kane. Kane has Haas in the middle. They crisscross to the boards. Hyatt's shot went wide. Rebound picked up by Dave Lorentz, watched by Gorley. Just outside and brought back in. Good call by Gil Neuendijk right on the blue line. That leaves 25 seconds in the Peterborough penalty.
Again, good penalty killing by the Petes, Gary. A fine play just a few moments ago by Jody Hull as he went between the goaltender and the net and pinched off the defenseman back for it. Allowed the Petes to kill off some valuable seconds and also get a good scoring opportunity as we take a look at Daryl Shannon, older brother of Darren. Of course, Daryl, I'd say a pretty good chance play with the Toronto Maple Leafs next year.
Anybody could play for that team. What do you think about Gord Stellick being named the new general manager, the kid on the block?
Never heard that.
Yes, it's official this afternoon. Gord Stellick is officially the new general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Exciting news, isn't it? Down the left side, it's a long shot by Kelly Kane around the boards. Tanner came out, gloved it as it hopped up. Dagenais with a golf shot, and that 4-iron goes up and out of play.
Maybe you should say, Gary, acting general manager. Harold Ballard, I believe, is the general manager of the team and the owner and the coach. I'm sure sometimes he might even be the trainer.
Kevin,
2 seconds left.
Big announcement today. Belleville Bulls coach and general manager Larry Mabity has left the Quinte Sports Center and the Bulls for the Kingston Raiders franchise. Mabity apparently signed a 4-year contract with new owner Lou Kozowski for a reported, quote-unquote, $70,000 a year.
Just about this making radio, is it not?
No, it's just about what Bell Telephone employees make. Puck is at the end boards.
Yeah.
Jody Hull is there with Kelly Kane. Hull trying to tie it up. Kicks it free to the corner, and Jody Hull's now got some room. Hull down the boards for Heward. Hyatt broke it up. Coming back to center is Jean-Paul Gorley. Moved it ahead. Dallas Aikens lost it to Haas. Haas is a man on the far side. John Tanner with the save. Rebound is cleared. Shannon at the point. His shot deflected wide into the corner. Brad Hyatt with a free shot. That's deflected, but Gorley couldn't put it on the goal. Jody Hull down the ice. The Peterborough penalty is over, and icing will be charged against the Petes. 13 minutes, 32 seconds left in the second period. Windsor 3, the Petes 1. Did that hit the goalpost as well?
I'll tell you the truth, Gary, I thought it was in the net, but here we'll get a chance to look at it. Went right between the legs. It must have been hit the toe of the skate, of the down skate by John Tanner, come right back out, but the angle that come out on it, look, almost come back out at 90 degrees, that the same angle it went in on, which is a weird play, but certainly the Spitfires had a good chance, but you got to give John Tanner credit for this one. On a good save, and we'll take a look at it here as he comes in from the right side. You tell me that wasn't in the net?
There's that little telltale look over the shoulder.
Boy, it didn't seem like it, the way it come out. It looked like it was in the net, but no goal otherwise. But that's what it looked like from our vantage point here. We had a pretty good angle on it.
Best seat in the house. Dallas Aikens put it into the corner. Shannon was there, but it rolls to Ricci. Ricci with a pass right onto the stick of Purcell. Domi got it. Ty Domi's shot, that went off the skates of number 3, Kurzowski. Behind the net for Ricci. Ricci's all tied up. There's going to be a penalty. Pretty good two-arm takedown there. Looked like a bear hug for a minute, and DeBoer will get the gate. Peterborough's third power play opportunity of the night upcoming.
There we see a little scuffle down in front of Pat Yablonski. We're going to get a chance, Gary, to take a look at that play again. But the goal light didn't go on. The Windsor Spitfire player didn't, and he had a good angle at it. Of course, it went through the legs of Tanner, but obviously made the stop somehow. And there we see Todd Boysoon just at the end of the Pete's bench, but the Spitfires get another penalty here with 13:04 left here in the second period. Here we'll get a chance to look at it again. Think it was in? I'd like to see it again, guys, if we could.
All I know for sure is the red light didn't go on.
Well, here we are on the power play.
Live action now. Jensen's shot into the corner. We're approaching the middle of the hockey game. Pete's need a goal here in the power play. Back to the point to Jensen. Jensen with a shot in the crowd. Jablonski never saw the shot at all. Cleared out and down the ice. Jablonski is not only very good, he's very lucky. 12 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the second period. Peterborough down by a pair on the power play. Over center is Jensen. He goes inside the blue line, lost the puck, but Ricci follows up just wide on the long side, and then Ricci was flattened. And the Spitfires get it out. There's a race for it. Here comes Kane, but Tanner is there. Clears it off the boards. Ala Hextall and out to center. Featherstone tried to move up. He lost it. Jensen across to his partner Dagenais to center. Jody Hull. He has McVicker breaking in the middle. Hull lost it to Featherstone, and again it's cleared down the ice. John Tanner stops it for Corey Foster. Spitfires change up their penalty killers. 50 seconds left in the Peterborough power play. Corey Foster inside the line, lost the puck. Back comes Shannon. Shannon on his own, trying to eat up some penalty clock time, and Tanner moves the puck ahead to Mark Freer. Freer, bothered by Gorley, into the middle off the skate of Andy McVicker, and Shannon has it again. 30 seconds left in the Windsor penalty. Clear down the ice. Tanner leaves the puck, picked up by Corey Foster. Graves forechecking deep for Windsor. Freer into the center for Hull. Looking for McVicker. The pass was behind him. Dallas Aikens moves up behind the goal. Bounced off the stick of Freer. Freer trying to find the handle again around the boards. Dallas Aikens is there. 4 seconds left in the Windsor penalty. Freer behind the net, stick handling. Tried to bring it out front, was stopped by Shannon. Windsor back to full strength. The Spitfires have killed the minor penalty. Corey Foster, slap shot, save, backhand shot. Oh, another chance for Freer. It never reached the goaltender, and the Petes can't keep it in. Dallas Aikens, last man back. Jablonski with a couple more great saves. And Jablonski fails to stop it behind the net. Pete send 5 players over the boards. Spitfires just want to change the players on the ice. Icing indicated. John Tanner was out to touch that puck for some reason. I don't know why, but icing will be charged against Windsor.
Gary, again, a good chance, and it all come from some good hard work behind the net by Mark Freer and Jody Hull, who got it back to the left point when Corey Foster unloaded the cannon. And then the rebound in front of Mark Freer. I believe it might have hit Andy McVicker down in front, but here's Jody Hull back to Foster, and he'll just wind and fire. There you see Andy McVicker tied up in front, and Mark Freer with the puck. And I think on his backhand shot, it either hit Andy McVicker or the defenseman. But prior to that, another point shot that worked its way, and it just deflected in the net that Jablonski, you mentioned, didn't even see, and it just rolled out the other sides. And Pete's having some tough luck around the Windsor net.
Dagenais' backhand shot went wide in the crowd. Featherstone has the puck. The flip is out to center. Dagenais, nice check by Jensen on number 12, Wolak of the Spitfires, off the glass and out to center. Featherstone to the open wing. Dagenais knocked it right into the Windsor Spitfires players bench. That draws the whistle. 10 minutes and 14 seconds left in the second period. Windsor lead Peterborough 3-1.
Gary, in the NHL tonight, as this game 4 is being played, the Washington Capitals against the surprise New Jersey Devils. New Jersey currently leading that series, but certainly that has been a nip and tuck series, and the Devils, I give a lot of credit to Jim Schoenfeld and all his troops, because certainly you would have to rate them in the surprise category, as maybe the Calgary Flames and the Montreal Canadiens as a disappointment so far.
Now if we could only move the New Jersey Devils to the Hamilton Cops Coliseum. Jensen puts the puck around the board. Shannon was there, kicked it in corner, picked up by Wolak, left for Shannon. Jamie Hicks runs some interference, but Shannon still has the puck out front. Wolak with a good shot, and Tanner went down and made the save. Race for it. Back quickly is Purcell, and icing charged against Peterborough.
David, Gary, with John Tanner in the net for the Petes, I find that we've seen him throughout the year, and you get him in the good shooting area inside the slot. John Tanner's just excellent one-on-one with a shot from the slot. He seems to get his body in front of it. He covers the corners well. Maybe more of a problem shots coming from the side or deflections in front, reacting to them, which are all tough, but certainly I feel that his forte is stopping that big shot from right in the slot area. That one there again was set up right on the tee, and I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been Kane moved into it, or Wolak had just drilled it, and again John Tanner just let it hit him. And sign of a good goaltender. It's not how many your glove, it's how many that hit the body.
Well, part of it, of course, is being in the right place at the right time. Bill Heward tried to take Purcell apart into the corner. Mark Barr doesn't want any piece of being into the corner first. Off the skate, and moving out is Mike Ricci down the right side. Domi in the middle, Heward trailing the play. Centered for Domi, he was tied up. Puck rolls to the boards. Heward bothered by DeBoer. Wolak has it. Look out in the far side. Ricci, and I believe it was Purcell, and I think we're going to have penalties now. Ty Domi over with some words of advice, and this could get a little ugly here. 9 minutes and 21 seconds left in the second period.
Well, Purcell sort of manhandled Ricci all the way down the ice, and I think Purcell should get the penalty, as even Ricci tried to get away, and Purcell was holding him by the sweater. And of course, you're sort of infringing on Ty Domi's country there. With Mike Ricci, and Ty let it be known, but Purcell does go to the penalty box, and I think that's the only penalty, and I think rightfully called by referee Dave Lynch.
Kevin, I wanted to make one more comment about Peterborough rookie goaltender John Tanner. He was drafted from the New Hamburg Hans, I believe, Junior C. He didn't play a lot of hockey that year that he was drafted, and again, this past OHL season, Todd Boysoon has had a little more of the share of the games, and so John Tanner hasn't played a lot of hockey again this season, although more than the previous year. But for a goaltender to progress and improve, you've got to play. You've got to play regularly. You've got to play a lot of hockey. And, you know, John Tanner and Todd Boysoon, we both know that they can only get better, but they've got to, you know, experience what the OHL is all about. You've got to know what to expect from different shooters. You can do that from the bench sometimes, almost as well as between the pipes, but really, there's nothing better than experience.
I think also Coach Dick Todd, Gary, used the two goaltenders very well throughout the regular season. Come the playoff, Todd Boysoon come up hot, and that's who he went with. And I think you got to keep one other thing in mind, and John Tanner will be around a year longer than will Todd Boysoon. Of course, Todd Boysoon, this is also his draft year. It isn't for John Tanner, so I think, again, Dick Todd done a pretty good job.
Boy, Adam Graves found himself with a freebie in front of the net, and nice play by Dagenais. Graves again! Blocking glove saved by Tanner. Somebody better keep an eye on Adam Graves. Running freely, now he tried to set up Hyatt, and it's knocked out to the neutral zone. Back forward is Wilkinson. Adam Graves roaming freely.
Gary, again, I mentioned it. There it was, right at the edge of the circle. Perfect scoring position, went high to the blocker side. Again, John Tanner got in front of it, and that, to me, is his forte. Those good shots right from the slot. Somehow or other, John Tanner makes the stop.
Dave Lorenz carries the puck into the Windsor zone, offsetting minor penalties for the next 1 minute with 8:20 to go here in the second period. Dagenais was looking for Ingram off to the side. Ingram stops, draws a couple of players. Lorenz tried to lift a stick and then get the shot away, and it rolled into the corner. Hyatt and Lorenz in the corner. Graves is there as well. Lorenz was knocked down, and the fans didn't appreciate the work of Brad Hyatt, but everything legal according to referee Dave Lynch. Dallas Aikens moved up, chopped the puck away from Kelly Kane. It's carried in by Hyatt. He throws it around the boards. Shannon is there. Took a slash from Jody Hull. Hull now bothered by Gorley. Off the skate of the referee, and Freer puts it across to Dagenais. He decides to cut back. Kelly Kane, the forechecker deep. Dallas Aikens off the boards for Jody Hull. Hull with a long shot. That goes over the net. 12 seconds left in the offsetting minor penalties. At center ice, it's Corey Foster. Foster's got some room, carries it in. Long shot, blocking glove save by Jablonski, and it's knocked out. Kane down the right side, he's got some room, and a good body check by Dan Jensen of the Beats. Kane lost his stick and his glove, and it's hard to do much with the puck without your stick and glove. Andy McVicker lost the puck in the Windsor zone. Featherstone out to center, just missed Wolak with that pass. Touched by Wolak, he's onside, centers it. Andy McVicker, bothered by DeBoer, turns it over. Here's a chance for Wolak. What a left hand by John Tanner.
Again, Gary, I hate repeating it, but again, a perfect shot going away from the play in the good slot position. John Tanner makes the save with a good glove hand. We've got to take a look at this one because that was about, what, maybe an inch or two inside the post. Definitely goal territory. Watch this, a wrist shot.
Top shelf.
Hey, they don't come much better than that. And for the people in Windsor, this kid will be around for 3 more years after this, and worth another look, no doubt.
You don't think John Tanner wanted to play tonight?
Oh, here it is. We'll see it here as the forechecking of the Spitfires again, right in the middle of the ice, top corner, glove save, excellent. John Tanner.
From the face-off, the puck is cleared down the ice. No icing. Jablonski will play it ahead to Featherstone. He puts it to the blue line. Shannon into the middle. Picked up by Wolak. DeBoer is in the middle as well. They cross. Wolak looking for the wrist shot. Still has it. Puts the puck into the corner. Dallas Aikens in his own zone around the boards for Bill Heward. Can't control it. Hampton has it. Moved it ahead. Shannon threw it out front, and Wolak just had it knocked away by Mark Barr. Ty Domi with another body check in the corner on Wolak. I don't think anyone has more body checks tonight than Ty Domi. Hampton at the point. Took a check from Heward for DeBoer. Tried to center it for Wolak. DeBoer put it around. Into the corner is Shannon. Here comes Dallas Aikens. Puck is kicked loose to Wolak. Out front is DeBoer. It rolls in off John Tanner. Really rough break for the Peterborough goaltender. And Windsor now own a 4-1 lead.
Again, Gary, with all the good chances that the Spitfires had, and they just tried to shovel it out in front. I'm not sure whether it hit the Pete's defenseman or goaltender John Tanner. It just rolled in. I don't even think it made the back of the net. But after Tanner has come up with some great saves, then a leaky one goes through here with 6:03 left in the second. Some hard work by Shannon in the corner. Might have went off the skate of Mark Barr, not sure, but it definitely changed direction as it was tried to be centered out in front. So we wonder now if that could be the killer for the Petes, but a fine forechecking in the corner by Shannon. That he just stayed with it. He was all tied up by the Pete's defenseman, was able to ward off the check and then get it behind the net, and as the pass tried to come out in front, it just squeaked through the legs of goaltender John Tanner into the net. 4-1 Spits.
Jamie Hicks is on the ice with Joe Hawley and Steve DeGursey up front. Jensen and Dagenais on defense, and Jensen backhands it in. Shannon puts it around for Adam Graves, checked by Hicks. Jensen pinches in. You're going to see the Peterborough defensemen take more and more chances. Peterborough have got to score some goals. Joe Hawley, Peterborough minor hockey product, out to center ice, just out of Jamie Hicks's reach. Shannon's back, pokes it to the corner. Krasowski is there off the boards, and Wilkinson has it. 5.5 minutes to go in the second period. Spitfires lead 4-1. Wilkinson drops it. Adam Graves picks it up. Backhand shot. That was deflected just wide and high. Hicks around the boards. Shannon has it. Slap shot from the point. Deflected off Joe Hawley off the glass. Wilkinson put it out front, but Dagenais has it. Dagenais moves it ahead to Steve DeGursey. DeGursey being checked by Adam Graves. Shot on goal. Jablonski leaves it for Shannon, number 4. 5 minutes to go in the second period. Dagenais off the boards, and Hicks shoots it in and then goes right to the bench. You're watching McLean Hunter Cable TV as Ross Wilson centers it. Dave Lorentz is there. Backhand shot, rebound, and Wilson immediately taken out of the play as he took a swipe at that loose puck. And it's clear down the ice. There's a race for it. Kelly Kane has good wheels, but Corey Foster runs interference as Mark Barr takes the puck to center ice for Ross Wilson. Slap shot, and that's stopped by Jablonski with 4.5 minutes to go in the period. The Petes, I would think, have to score a goal here late in the second to have any hope at all in the third period. David Haas with a backhander right across the goal mouth. Still controlled by the Spitfires. Cutting in is Hyatt. Hyatt with his shot, and Tanner came out and took away the angle and made an easy pad save. Kelly Kane has it now. Kane looking for an open man. Into the slot area, Dave Lawrence is there. The Kitchener native for the Petes out to center ice. Lawrence down the right wing boards. Puts the puck around the fence. Jablonski stops it behind the net. Haas all tied up with Dave Lawrence on the far side. Gorley hands it to Featherstone. He drives it in. And Mark Freer can't get it past Hyatt. There's a save by Tanner. He'll hang on for the face-off. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left in the second period. Windsor 4, the Petes 1. Kevin, another entertaining hockey game. It's looking more and more like the series is going to go 4 games, but who can be disappointed with any one of the 3 games so far in the series?
Gary, it's been a great series, really, as far as it's been the odd little skirmish, but hey, when you're looking for an Ontario championship, well, you got to expect that, but I think you got to give a lot of credit to referees Dave Lynch, Jim Lever, Murray Darrow, and now back here again tonight, Dave Lynch, but certainly it's been a well-played series.
Shot blocked by Jody Hull, still controlled by the Spitfires. An errant pass goes right to Hull. A lot of people expect Jody Hull to be with the Hartford Whalers when the NHL regular season starts next year. Trying to get loose. Wolak is knocked down. There'll be a penalty. So with 3 minutes and 23 seconds left in the second period, Windsor owning a 4-1 lead. The Petes will be short-handed for the next 2 minutes, barring the Spitfire goal.
I think, Gary, throughout this series, you know, and really you look at the little things, it's the one-on-ones that the Spitfires seem to come up number one in the play there. They force the Petes to make take a penalty or something like that, or have a good scoring opportunity, and certainly the one-on-ones, you got to again go look at size, experience, and strength, and certainly the Spitfires going into this series had all 3 in their benefit, and again it's showing here tonight. They have a 4-1 lead. That last goal, by the way, was Mike Wolak with his 7th of the playoffs from Darren Shannon at 13:57, and a big assist to Darren Shannon as he warded off the check from Dallas Aikens in the corner and able to get it behind the net, and then as the pass come out, squeaked in. There we see Coach Dick Todd.
Dick Todd, I think, wants to talk to someone. I know you alluded to it earlier in the hockey game, Kevin. This is the only game that the Petes have not led at some stage. In game 1, 2, and 3, Peterborough owned a lead, at least at some part of the hockey game. But tonight, the Windsor Spitfires jumped out to a 2-0 first period lead, even though they were outshot 11-9. And now with the score of 4-1, it's going to be pretty tough for the Petes to get back into the thick of this one.
Certainly the Spitfires looking for a little revenge. Back in 1980, the Petes, when they went to the Memorial Cup in Regina, took out the Spitfires in the final series 4-0. Sure that some of the Windsor people have reminded some of the players about that.
Live action with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Spitfires on the power play, controlling the puck. John Tanner hugging the post, made the save. Puck is loose behind the goal. Dallas Aikens has it now. Around for Jody Hull. The slap shot goes down the ice, and Jablonski is out to stop it. Brad Hyatt, the first Windsor player back, with 3 minutes left in the period and 1:38 to go in the Peterborough penalty. Wolak into the center to Shannon. Shannon dumps it in. John Tanner will leave it for Dallas Aikens. Dallas up off the glass. However, the puck rolls up and out of play with 2:51 to go.
Gary, the other thing here in tonight's hockey game, we mentioned the number of scouts. I could not think of one team that isn't represented here some way or another. And in some cases, 3 or 4 different scouts or assistant general managers or general managers in some cases here at the hockey game tonight. And probably the last close hand looked at some of the players that will be eligible for the draft, and of course probably the 2 highest ones in the hockey game here tonight in the June 11th draft in Montreal for the NHL. Number 3 of the Petes, Corey Foster, and number 16 of the Spitfires, Darren Shannon.
By the way, new general manager Gord Stellick says the Leafs' number 1 draft choice is up for grabs for that right player that can fit into the lineup right away.
That should be easy to find.
Every team has a lot of those. This is Jean-Paul Gorley, dropped it to Hyatt. He moves it ahead to Kane, back to Hyatt at the point. Playing catch now, Kane and Hyatt along the boards. That's intercepted, but Jeff Ingram couldn't get his stick on it long enough to clear it. Back to Hyatt. Long shot, that was deflected, just went wide into the corner. Dave Lawrence holds the puck against the boards, trying to get a whistle, and he does succeed in freezing the puck with 58 seconds left in the Spitfires power play, 2:21 to go in the period.
Gary, a lot of probably Detroit fans and watching this game down in Windsor on Cable 11. Of course, Detroit Red Wings up against the Edmonton Oilers. What are their chances?
Well, I'm afraid they are slim the way Edmonton is playing hockey right now, but I have a very sincere hope that Jacques Demers has the ultimate wisdom not to allow Steve Yzerman to play hockey again this current NHL season. Kevin, I suffered a very similar ligament injury in my knee playing old-timers hockey 2.5 months ago. My knee is about 80% right now, and I've been on skates, and I'm walking, and I've gone through all the same therapy, but I can't imagine a player of Yzerman's talent and abilities being rushed back at this age of his career. Sure, he is a franchise player, and I hope Steve Yzerman does not see any hockey this season. I pray he won't. As a former Pete, you know he can be around for years. Hampton has the puck, hands it to Featherstone, a rolling puck. He decided not to shoot it. Jean-Paul Gourley's puck is on the net, and that draws the whistle. Kind of a strange play. We all knew Steve Yzerman quite well. Great kid, good hockey player, but Kevin, knees can shorten a career so quickly.
Yeah, just asked Bobby Orr after a few knee operations. 1:57 left here in the second, 4-1 Spitfires. The crowd very quiet here now at the Memorial Center. 34 seconds left in the Pete's penalty to Mark Freer. But I don't know. I think if Detroit could win a couple games, I would say to be fortunate the way the Edmonton Oilers, and you would think if the Oilers could take out a powerhouse team in the Calgary Flames, that they should be able to do the same with the Red Wings. Boston and whoever they play, I think, should be the same thing after taking out Montreal.
Dave Lorentz trying to beat Hampton to the puck after he made a nice play to block it. The Peterborough Pete's short-handed for the next 15 seconds, and really, Windsor hasn't done much on this power play. This is Haas, stops along the boards, looks back to the point, rolled off Featherstone's stick. He keeps it in, however. Jean-Paul Gourley into the center, trying to set up Haas to the side of the goal. Tanner's got it, smothers it, and hangs on. Just to get back to the NHL for just a moment, when you see the kind of hockey that the Norris Division playoffs have produced, and then see the Adams or the Smythe Division, it's so much quicker, it's so much more intense. It's, I think, almost a grade above, Kevin.
Thank you, Gary. Certainly, I think the surprise is Calgary going out the way they did to the Edmonton Oilers, I think, and alone, you know, a team that really built the team this year with some late additions and getting Burzin, and we mentioned Wamsley a while ago, Rob Ramage. I don't know, really a surprise with the Flames, but I guess you never count out the Oilers at any point in time.
No, I think Edmonton is a well-oiled team right now. I think they've got all the tools it's going to take. I can't see anybody stopping Edmonton.
The other thing too, Gary, the play of a guy like Craig Muni. Here's a guy that couldn't make the Leafs, and turns out to be I wouldn't say a star, but certainly a steady player.
But doesn't that tell you something about evaluation in Toronto?
They have some penalties here, as Dave Lynch, I think, just had enough of the nonsense going on in front of the net. He's whistled off DeBoer, and I'm not sure if there's going to be a Pete go off. I don't think there is.
Bill Heward?
Yeah, it is Bill Heward going to the penalty box. So Bill Heward and Peter DeBoer going off. 1:18 left here in the second period. 3 goals in this period. 2 of them by the Spits, Graves and Woolak. Wilson, 1 sandwiched in between.
We see Ontario Hockey League Commissioner David Branch standing behind Roger Nielsen over in the press box area. This is the second game I think he's attended here in Peterborough in this current series.
Ken Bodendissel also here in attendance, referee-in-chief for the OHL.
Dagenais over center ice. He's got some skating room, puts on the brakes, looks wide. Mark Freer into the corner. Checked there by Shannon. Approaching the final minute of the second period. Yablonski, after making the save, left the puck for Kozarski around the boards, and it's Adam Graves cutting into the center. Graves with a big shot. Tanner, the right pad, kicked out. Graves got it right back again. Checked by Dagenais. Now into the corner is Foster. Hands it back to Mike Dagenais. Corey Foster expected to go high in the NHL draft this June. Off the boards, out for Freer. Shannon got to it first. Moving up is Jody Hull. Hull on his own as Freer is tied up at center. Freer goes to the bench now, and the Spitfires out of their own zone, led by Hampton. Jody Hull is going to get a penalty. It's touched, and they're going to call it high sticking, hooking maybe.
Well, Gary, actually the stick come up into the, I think it might have even hit the mask of Hampton, who showed pretty good speed coming around the net with Jody Hull chasing him. As we take a look at number 10, Kelly Kane, former London Knight, Belleville Bull, don't know where else, but there goes Jody Hull to the penalty box. But as he was checking Hampton, who was pulling away the stick, actually Hampton moved up on the shaft of his stick and with his arm actually lifted the stick of Jody Hull up into it. I believe it hit his face mask. His ledge was right there. He had to call it.
17 seconds left in the period. You're watching McLean Hunter Cable TV, Channel 6 Peterborough. Gary Hahn along with Kevin Barron, our statistician Brian Sage. Game 4 of the Ontario Hockey League Championship Final between the Petes and the Spitfires. 3 seconds left in the period. Shot blocked, and the horn to end period 2. After 40 minutes, the Windsor Spitfires have increased their lead to 4-1. We hope you'll stay with us. We're going to go downstairs and join Don Barry and his intermission guest. Then be back for the play-by-play of period 3. First of all, Kevin Barron has the second period statistics.
Gary, the shots just reversed from the first period, 11-9. This one in favor of Spitfires. In the first, it was 11-9 Peterborough. But again, the Petes come out early in the second period, carried the play to the Spitfires, but then 141 at the other end, Adam Graves put one in for the Spitfires, and really it was downhill there for the Petes in that second period. Ross Wilson got one back in the power play just a minute and 10 seconds later from Heward and Jensen, but then Mike Woolak, as I said, a little bit of a leaky goal from Darren Shannon at 13:57 made it 4-1. And now the Petes going to start the third period a man short, so things starting to look a little grim as far as the Petes are concerned.
Stay with us. We're back with the play-by-play of period 3 in just a moment. Ontario Hockey League final series between the Peterborough Petes and the Windsor Spitfires. We have a look at the lineup of the Petes, followed by the Windsor Spitfires. And Windsor took a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes. It's now 4-1 after 40 minutes. Windsor 20 minutes away from that trip to Chicoutimi, Quebec. And Kevin, I really think the Petes have got all the cards stacked against them right now.
Well, it gets tougher, Gary, as we mentioned at the end of the second. They're going to start off with a penalty here to kill off for a minute or so, and certainly the first few minutes of the period have been the Pete's strength. I think they got a minute 43 of one penalty to take off on Jody Hull, but it just seemed that the Pete's having trouble with the bounce of the puck tonight. They started out well in the first period and had some good chances, hit a goal post, an excellent save by Yablonski and a shot from Corey Foster. They started out the second the same way, and then all of a sudden Graves goes down and scores at 141, and it just seemed to be an uphill battle throughout this whole series for the Petes. As we get set to start, Mark Freer,
Kevin,
number 11 there, Petes.
No question the Petes did not want to be swept in the OHL final, but you had to wonder if Windsor might not like to go home and win this on home ice Saturday night in front of about 4,000, but obviously that's not the case.
I don't think any team wants to do that, Gary. If you can take them out while you can, because anything can happen. The longer play goes on, injuries, etc., etc. I'm sure the Spitfires smell it, and that's the way they want to have it.
4 skaters to 3, plus the goaltenders. Windsor with the man advantage on the ice. The third period is just nicely underway as Adam Graves carries the puck into Peterborough territory off the end boards for Shannon. Shannon checked by Dallas Aikens. Graves has the puck, looking back to the point. Fanned on his pass to Hyatt. Graves in the corner. Nice job to maintain possession. Hyatt gets it across to Shannon. Back to Hyatt. Offsetting minor penalties are over as John Tanner makes a good save on the short side. And now we have 58 seconds left in the Pete's minor penalty. The only man left in the penalty box. Who is that?
Jody Hull, Gary. He's serving the high sticking penalty that he received in 1943. Face off down to the right of, or make that to the left of goaltender John Tanner, who replaced starting goaltender Todd Boysoon in the early going of the second period.
Kelly Kane is out there to take the face off against Jeff Ingram. 45 seconds gone in the third period. The Pete's down by 3 goals. And the way Windsor can play defense and check in their own zone, I would think 3 goals is going to be very difficult to get against this Spitfires hockey club. Dave Lorentz dumps the puck in. Yablonski comes out to move it away from Jensen. And the Spitfires with a long lead pass intended for Haas. He did get it. Kane back for Haas. Drop back to the point. Featherstone couldn't keep it in, not quite, offside of the blue line. 3,317 in attendance for this Game 4. Smallest crowd of the series to this point. Game 1 in Windsor, 3,710. The Spitfires won that opening game 7-4. Game 2 in Peterborough, just under 3,900, and Windsor won that one 5-3, as did Windsor win at home in Game 3 5-3 before 3,816. So I guess we have a little over, my quick mathematics would say about 12,000 fans taking in the 4 games in this series. A little more than that. About 14,000. That's not bad.
It's all right.
Kelly Kane trying to split the defense. It rolls through to John Tanner. Todd Boysoon started in net for the Petes, replaced in the second period by John Tanner with the score, I believe, 3-0 at that point, or maybe 3-1. And John Tanner has been steady except for one weird goal that was scored from behind the net in the second period. Petes just about back to full strength. Haas' shot was blocked by Dallas Aikens. Now Jody Hull is back on the ice. So Peterborough down 3 goals, are back to full strength with 2 minutes gone in the third period. McVicker couldn't get started. They rule no icing, although Jensen was nowhere near being over center ice. Along the boards, Krasowski is there with DeBoer. McVicker. Wolak tried to bang it out. This is DeBoer, throws it in. Tanner is out, decides he'll let Dagenet play it. Shot just wide. No one was at home either. Into the corner. This is Shannon. Checked by Corey Foster. I can't believe how quiet this crowd is at the Memorial Center. 3,300 of them.
17:25 left here in the third period. Again, the Spitfires carrying the play. Start off with the power play, and have certainly kept the puck inside the Pete's blue line here extensively in this third period. And one shot just wide of the open corner. It could have been easily 5-1 in favor of the Spitfires. Just a recap of the goals. David Haas, Darren Shannon, Adam Graves, and Mike Wolak scoring for the Spits. Ross Wilson, the lone reply in the second period so far for the Petes.
Ty Domi centers, too far away from Bill Heward. Backboard is Corey Foster. He puts it around the boards. Ty Domi had it roll off his stick. Adam Graves brought it in. That was offside, but Nieuwendyk couldn't stand on the line because he had to move out when the player was right on the line. Off the boards this time to Ty Domi. And Domi can't get past Adam Graves. Wilkinson. Graves looking to center, took a check from Domi and Foster, picked up by a Hyatt, and he gave the puck to Dagenet. Dagenet tried to lead Heward, but it was intercepted. Foster ahead to Dagenet, back to Corey Foster, right out front! And John Tanner, a good save with his blocking glove as the Petes coughed up the puck deep in their own zone. 3.5 minutes gone in the third period. Windsor leading 4-1. Cleared off the glass into the blue line. Leading the rush is Wilkinson. He throws it in. Tanner the glove save. Spitfires send 5 players over the boards. As the puck comes to center ice, DeGursey leaves it for Ty Domi. His shot deflected by Haas. I think Domi would like to get somebody going out there. David Haas didn't want to get started with Domi. DeGursey clearing it in, looking for his own rebound, but Hampton is there. Hampton tied up by DeGursey, right out front for Hawley. Great save by Jablonski with the left pad. Hawley left alone in front of the goal. Shot from a sharp angle, ends up in the corner. Hawley is there against Hampton. Picked up by Jean-Paul Gourley. Gourley checked by Hicks. Here's DeGursey, can't get a shot off. And it's Kelly Kane down the left side, cutting into the center. Hands the puck to Gourley. Gourley checked by Dallas Aikens. Aikens picks up his man in front of the net. Back to Hampton, slap shot. And Tanner may have got a piece of it. Joe Hawley had a weird bounce come out front of the net. Dallas Aikens for DeGursey. Steve DeGursey clears it in. and then goes to the bench, and Peterborough send 5 players off the bench. We played 4 minutes and 45 seconds in the third period. Very few whistles in what could be the last period of hockey for the Petes this season. Good skate save there by Jablonski. Shannon with the initial pass ahead. Wolak over the blue line, almost put DeBoer offside. Drops it for Hyatt. His shot blocked by Dave Lorentz. Lorentz with Ingram. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Ross Wilson. Wilson over the line. Bouncing puck. Wolak is there, and he clears it to center. Hyatt across to Shannon. Shannon looks into the middle. Shannon deeper. Lost the puck into the corner. There is DeBoer. In front of the goal is Wolak. They try to free it. Shannon for Wolak. Wolak turns, spins, just off the stick of DeBoer. Hyatt around the boards, into the corner. Picked up there by Mike Wolak. Centered for Shannon. He poked it off the post. They score! What a quick tic-tac-toe.
Gary again just slid right along the ice inside the post, and again through a screen. Tanner didn't react to it till the last second, and it was over the line just inside the post. But again, the forechecking of the Spitfires caused some problems for the Petes. It comes back. There you see it. Just a little tip by Darren Shannon. He just redirected it towards the net. We've said time and time again, put anything towards the net and anything can happen. And that's exactly what Shannon did. There you see him just sort of slide it almost by Mike Dagenais, and also goaltender John Tanner again couldn't react fast enough to get the puck, and it just squirted in over the line again. Now it's 5-1.
Perfectly into the corner too. May even have banked off the goal post. John Tanner with a complete extension couldn't reach it in time. So 5-1 for the Spitfires, and 13 minutes and 50 seconds away from advancing to the Memorial Cup Hockey Tournament beginning May 7th in Chicoutimi, Quebec. Adam Graves down the right side, watched by Freer. Backhand shot. John Tanner got his glove up just in time. Nice one-handed effort.
Again, John Tanner made the glove save. But Gary, I guess the other thing in this hockey game, the Spitfires aren't showing no mercy. They're, it's 5-1 now, and they're not quitting by any means. They just keep pressing the Petes, pressing them, and I think the psychological effect of that goal play on the minds of the Petes. And there we see number 1, John Tanner, rookie goaltender for the Petes. But I guess maybe the Spitfires, as I say, smell the victory. They can smell the blood, and they're going for it.
Kevin, this is a real character builder for a team, a young team, watching a very veteran, experienced hockey club that's obviously going to represent the OHL at the Memorial Cup. And although it's awfully tough being a good loser, sometimes these things, like the Blue Jays watching the Tigers win the American League East in Detroit, it preys in your mind, it stays with you. You realize what it takes to win and to be a champion, and you can only hope that next year the Petes are going to remember some of those experiences.
That's right, Gary. Excellent experience, and you can start right with the goaltenders. Hey, these kids have played every game in the league that the Windsor Spitfires are going to play, and certainly these goaltenders, Todd Boysoon and John Tanner, will be around for 3 and 4 more, or 2 and 3 more years after this one. And as you say, you hope it's a character builder, and you just hope, I think for Petes fans, just hope that it works out as well for the Petes next year as it has with the Spitfires this year.
Good save by Tanner off the stick of Kelly Kane. There's a giveaway. Jean-Paul Gourley out front for Haas. Nice defensive play by Dan Jensen. 13 minutes to go in regulation time. 5-1, the Spitfires lead the Petes at the Memorial Center. You're watching McLean Hunter Cable TV, Channel 6 Peterborough. Gary Hahn along with Kevin Barron and our statistician Brian Sage to bring you this 4th game of the Ontario Hockey League Final. Haas puts on the brakes inside the Peterborough line, centers it. Good job by Andy McVicker to knock the puck out of the air. McVicker cuts back into his own zone. Buffalo Sabre draft choice McVicker over center, clears it in. Jablonski played it a little dangerously with his skate and his stick with a backhand. Hyatt in the corner, puts it to the far side. DeBoer and Bill Heward are there. Heward looking out front for Reach. He centered it, bouncing around to the side of the goal. Ricci trying to dig it free on his backhand. Michael Ricci taken to the boards by a very strong Featherstone. Picked up by Domi, and he threw it back to the point. There was no one there. We've now played 8 minutes in the 3rd period. And again, the Memorial Center, 3,300 faithful, very, very quiet. Ty Domi took that one off the noggin. Thank goodness for helmets. Jensen across to Domi. Domi trying to get free down the right side. The Bell River native into the middle for Ricci. Bill Hewitt failed to deflect it on goal. Hewitt in the corner looking out front for Ricci. Domi all tied up by Hyatt. There's going to be another penalty. Looks like Windsor will get the gate for a holding with 11 minutes and 37 seconds left in the hockey game.
I think it is going to be Brad Hyatt, Gary, as he had, not sure, I think it was Mike Ricci all tied up in front. Or Ty Domi, I guess, as Ricci tried to come out from behind the net. 11:37 here left in the third period. Hyatt goes to the penalty box, and we mentioned Featherstone being sort of the unsung hero in the playoffs. Brad Hyatt, I think, could be said the same of him.
What about that fellow right
season.
there, number 35?
I don't think he's the unsung hero or anything like that. He is the star of this, I think, of this series, really. Certainly in game one. We know here in game two, and I think here in the early going of game four, he just proved his mettle.
There's another save, rebound, and Jablonski's got his glove on it once again. You talked about the goaltending of the youngsters for Peterborough, but boy, when an overage like Jablonski fills the gap, he has just been outstanding.
And I'm sure, Gary, sometime in the point of the season, in the early going with Windsor, there was a lot of rumors going around. They were looking for a goaltender. There was no question about it. They were looking either for another overage goaltender or to make a deal. And here we'll see it again. And here's with Jablonski. There you see him, and just pounces on that loose puck.
We're back to live action now. Play still in the Spitfire zone. Pete's with a man advantage for the next minute and 44 seconds. Kicked to Kelly Kane. Kept in by Corey Foster. Foster bothered by Kane and lost it. Off the boards, it rolled off the stick of Jody Hull. Featherstone with a weak wrist shot out to center. Freer can't get past Kelly Kane. Corey Foster, last man back, kicked it free. Made that look easy. It looked dangerous, though, as well. Andy McVicker. Sharp angle shot. Jablonski lost his balance. And somehow the puck rolled behind the net. Fans looking for a penalty for freezing the puck behind the net. No, Kevin, you talked about the Pete's goaltenders. Dick Todd, OHL Coach of the Year. Finally, Dick has been recognized by his peers around the OHL. Dallas Aikens is graduating. He's gone from a tough young brawler to one of the top defensive defensemen in the league, a leader on and off the ice. Proud to wear the captaincy for the maroon and white. But Dan Brown, Dan Jensen, Corey Foster all return in defense. That should be another strong core for Dick Todd's blue line next year. Mark Freer, like Dallas, a minor hockey product locally, is going to graduate. He'll be missed. But Dave Lawrence and Jeff Ingram, they're great checkers, but I think they're learning what it takes to score goals in the OHL as well. And those two Kitchener hockey products are both going to be back next season. You go to Andy McVicker and Ross Wilson. They should both return and should improve on this year's statistics. And, of course, we all think that Jody Hull might not be back because the Hartford Whalers can use any kind of natural goal scorer, as we know Jody is.
Also, Gary, you look at this hockey team here, Windsor with 6 players in tonight's lineup that could return, so add maybe 2 over 8, so you're looking at 8 players. When you look at the Peterborough Petes for next year, 19 players that are out here tonight, or here tonight, could return.
Off the board, Jablonski put it right in the stick of Mike Ricci. Ricci into the corner. Wilson is there. Less than 10 minutes to go in the third period as the puck goes up and out of play. 9:58 exactly. I know a lot of Pete's fans are very disappointed that the Petes have been eliminated in 4 straight games, or it would appear are going to be now. But in all seriousness, we never thought, A, the Petes would win the Leighton Division over the regular season, or B, they would sweep both Toronto and Ottawa in the Leighton Division playoffs. And now here they are against a much experienced team. And even in the 3 games previously, they've led those hockey games at one point. They've never been blown out. And this is the widest margin either team has ever had a lead in the series. It's 5-1 right now. And again, you've got to give a lot of credit to Tom Webster and Jim Rutherford. This isn't just a hockey team that they brought together. There are some problem players on this hockey team. David Haas and Kelly Kane had discipline problems with other teams in the league. They had reputations, as a matter of fact. And somehow Tom Webster and Jim Rutherford have brought them to Windsor and told them what their role would be, and they've done that job very, very well. Jablonski with 2 more saves against the Petes. 5 seconds left in the Windsor penalty. Players standing in the box. John Tanner leaves it for Corey Foster. The Spitfires back to full strength as they kill off another penalty. Here's Kelly Kane with a shot. John Tanner makes the save, and Tanner will hang on. And as we mentioned earlier in this series, this Windsor Spitfires team has been very carefully constructed, and it looks like that the people that put the components together really knew what they were doing.
Gary, just adding it up here, the Petes could have 2 goaltenders, 5 defensemen, 3 centermen, 3 left winger, and 4 right wingers coming back in next year's hockey team. And I mentioned it earlier, I'm just sure Petes fans hope that works out as well for the Peterborough Petes next year as it has for the Spitfires, because you know, they're a team that really started maybe even 2 years ago, filling into places, and I think everything come together with the deals that Jim Rutherford made last year, and has certainly got to be commended for it, because he certainly has got a pretty good hockey team here. I think that's going to represent the OHL in fine style come Chicoutimi.
Play deep in the Windsor zone. I talked to a couple of scouts. I was at each and every game of the Memorial Cup tournament last year in Oshawa. I feel Windsor is a much stronger team than the Oshawa Generals were last year, the team, of course, who represented the OHL last season at the Memorial Cup. And I think we can expect some big things from the Spitfires as we have Hawes tied up at the boards with Peterborough's number 20, Jamie Hicks, but nothing becomes of that except maybe a couple of penalties for standing around.
I guess, Gary, the other thing too, the Spitfires, I think the Medicine Hat Tigers are going to be. They were there last year. They've got the winning feeling. They got that experience. The one thing they do have is a different coach going to Chicoutimi this year. But still, the players, I think there's 12 or 13 of them back from last year's Memorial Cup team. I think they're going to be a factor, a big factor in the Memorial Cup. But listen, don't count out these Windsor Spitfires. They haven't got used to losing. They haven't lost a game here in the playoffs. They finished first overall in their division. And at any team that can go 3 playoff series in the OHL, who I still feel is the best league in Canada, best junior league in Canada, and you haven't lost a hockey game, a lot can be said for it.
Offsetting minor penalties with less than 9 minutes to go in the third period. Wolak cuts back into his own defensive zone, drops the puck for Shannon ahead to his brother. That's Darryl and Darryl, isn't it? Ingram got it ahead to center for Dave Lorentz. Lorentz, number 15, to center. Backhands the puck ahead for Ingram. Ingram at the boards, tried to center it. Lorentz rolls behind the net, lost the puck, and it's Shannon in the corner. Hyatt, intercepted by Lorentz, tried to throw it out front for Ingram. And again, Pete's just not getting that big Peterborough bounce. Jeff Ingram in his own zone throws it out. You can see how the pace has slowed here in the third period. This hockey game had an incredible pace in the first and in the second period. And that 5th goal really took the starch out of the Petes. Mark Freer at his own zone. Freer likely his last game with the Petes in the Ontario Hockey League. Corey Foster hasn't really been able to get that big slap shot away. Dallas Aiken's shot was caught, then dropped, smothered by Pat Jablonski. 45 seconds left in the offsetting minors, 7:47 to go in the game.
Gary, I mentioned there was 3 centermen and 3 left winger come back. Of course, that's playing tonight. If you want to add in Paul Minton on the left side and Danny Halo at center, so you got 4 right wingers, 4 left wingers, and 4 centermen coming back, along 5 defensemen and 2 goaltenders. So a team in itself. You add in a couple high draft picks, and hopefully the Petes will be right back there where they are this year, except maybe on the winning end of things.
And of course, our final game of the season here on McLean Hunter Cable TV and Pete's Hockey Replay. We hope you've enjoyed all the games we've carried over the course of the winter in the 87-88 season. Wilkinson down the ice, blocking glove save by Tanner off the former Cambridge Junior B Winterhawk. Into the corner for Dallas Aikens. Dallas has had a great career as a Peterborough Pete. I believe still the property of the Washington Capitals. The Blonsky got fooled, and, well, the Windsor player knocked the net off, but I don't think intentionally. And another one of those situations, the puck bounces the other way, the Petes put it in an empty net.
Come out right into the slot, and there we see, I believe that's Paul Hampton, if I'm not mistaken, down on the ice as he slid into the net backwards.
Kevin, with Mascarin gone, they can't afford too many more injuries.
And that's the other thing going into more. You want to be a healthy hockey team, and what the Spitfires with a victory here tonight will have about 10 days make the trip, and I don't think they'll be bussing all the way to Chicoutimi. I think it might be probably an empty bus with the equipment and an airplane flight, if they have an airport in Chicoutimi. I think they do.
There's a couple of
It's
highways
a new
they don't
arena
use.
there too, so a very nice place. So
Second championship, national championship this year for Chicoutimi, because the Brier, of course, was held there. Now the Memorial Cup tournament. 10 seconds left in the offsetting minors. Pair of 20s ready to return to the ice. Hicks and Hawes. Gorley tried to center it. Ty Domi is there. Mark Barr leads the rush with Ricci. Barr into the corner, took a high stick, and Featherstone will get a penalty for his stick coming up. John Tanner rushes to the bench.
Sorry, Gary, as we had the penalty on Jody Hull at the end of the second period on an accidental high stick, and I think the same thing's going to happen here as Mark Barr got clipped with a high stick. We have a little meeting down in the corner, but again, the good work of Zabucky, Newendike, and referee Dave Lynch has everything all sorted out.
Kevin, I know
Mr. Carmanos up here, the owner of the Windsor Spitfires.
I think he's a happy man.
And I'm sure since he took over the franchise, I'm not sure exactly how long. This is the first time that the Spitfires will represent the OHL, and again, they're going to be a fine representative. I don't think there's any question about that. It's going to be tough, always playing in a rink that you haven't seen, playing teams that you haven't seen before. But I think the Windsor Spitfires, certainly a lot of credit has to go to the Peterborough Petes. They put up a pretty good battle, but I think the Windsor Spitfires will be a fine representative for this league.
Bill Hewitt with his shot. Jablonski came well out to cut down the angle, take the shooting away.
Gary, I got to go back a few years to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds when they represented the league. They didn't do well, and I think goaltending was their problem. But I'll tell you, Pat Jablonski can play in the Memorial Cup. What he has played, how he's played here in this OHL final, I think that could be the difference. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds had a team a lot like it, very veteran, an intermix of a few good, fine rookie players, but their goaltending was suspect in the Memorial Cup, and it cost them a Memorial Cup. In fact, they didn't even make the final round. But I think with Jablonski being the key to the Spitfires in this series, if he's the same way in the Memorial Cup, I think the Spitfires will be very happy with the results.
Ricci with a takedown in the Windsor zone, but Spitfires clear it. A team from Windsor has never won the Memorial Cup Junior A Hockey Championship. And Kevin,
have they ever been in? I don't even know if they've been in it.
No, I was checking the history book just the other day. But the interesting thing is, Windsor set out to do three things this year: win the Ems division, win the Ontario Hockey League Championship, and win the Memorial Cup. Well, they're 2/3 of the way.
5:28. That penalty, by the way, to Featherstone for high sticking. He's got 30 seconds left in it.
Just over 5 minutes to go in the hockey game. Jody Hull down the left side. In front of the net is McVicker. Centering pass didn't make it out front. McVicker along the board, still has possession. Threw it in front of the goal. Kept in by Corey Foster. Foster on his backhand into the corner. Stops. Watched by Shannon. Foster put it around for McVicker. Behind the net is Freer. McVicker cuts behind, tried to put it out front. And Jablonski, there was his stick. Freezes the puck against the net. Again, the goaltender not allowing that puck to be centered.
9 seconds left in the penalty to Featherstone. 4:58 here in the hockey game. Spitfires up 5-1 on goals by Hawes, Darren Shannon, Adam Graves, Mike Wolak, and Darren Shannon too, by the way. Lone reply, Ross Wilson back at 2:54 of the second period. There you see the telltale sign and the big one there at the bottom. 4 minutes and 58 seconds away for the Windsor Spitfires to go to Chicoutimi to represent the OHL at the Memorial Cup.
I'm missing a goal scorer here in my little list.
Shannon is 2.
Darren
Shannon is 2. Yep.
Thank you. Of course, shots on goal were 11-9 in favor of the Petes in the first period, 11-9 in favor of Windsor in the second period. 3,317 paid attendance for this fourth game of the OHL Championship Final. And I guess Dave Branch is on hand possibly to make a presentation to the Spitfires after this one. Windsor's back to full strength, so they successfully kill off the 5th Peterborough power play. The Gersey onside at center, but that's broken up at the blue line. Dallas Aikens carries the puck over the line, made one nice move, lost his stick, and Jablonski's going to hang on to it and take no chances with 4 minutes and 29 seconds to go. Kevin, for those who may have joined the telecast late, Belleville Bulls coach and GM Larry Mavety has left the Quinte Sports Center and that team for the Kingston Raiders, the new franchise, or the franchise now owned by Lou Kozowski, Peterborough developer, a 4-year deal worth about $70,000. Ottawa's 67 center Andrew Castles won the Red Tilson Trophy as the OHL's outstanding player, and of course
also the Bill Hanley Trophy for gentlemanly player.
That's right. And the winner, the Canadian Hockey League Player of the Year, will be announced during the Memorial Cup tournament in Chicoutimi, Quebec. But I would think Andrew Castles is a pretty good representative from this league.
No doubt, an excellent year. Was the OHL's league score. Still got another year to play, and Montreal Canadiens have gone on record. Now this was before they got defeated in the playoffs by the Boston Bruins, that he would be back in Ottawa. So certainly a very exciting player to have coming back and returning in the OHL next year.
It's funny how Brian Kilroy always has one superstar on his team. Remember the days of Bobby Smith? Down to 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the third period. Windsor leading 5-1. Can likely taste it now. Featherstone checked by Joe Hawley into the corner. Bennick is now on the ice, checked by Barr. I think maybe Bennick's second or third shift of the game. The Gersey centers, dashed in his backhand, Jablonski to save. Second shot by Joe Hawley, stopped by Jablonski, who has to go behind the net and get his goal stick. Normally the defenseman do that for you, Kevin.
And Gary, being this is our last hockey broadcast this year at McLean Hunter, certainly on my behalf, it's been great working with you for the last half of the season anyways. It's been a real pleasure, and of course the work of Brian Sage, who sits beside me, but I think it would be remiss if we didn't thank Dick Todd and all of Pete's executive, and especially the players, for making themselves available throughout the whole year for interviews. I know sometimes it gets to be a little bit of a pain, and it's really not the thing you want to do, but generally there's no problem, there's no complaining, and certainly to Dick and Terry and all of Pete's executive and all the players, on my behalf, I would like to thank them for their participation and cooperation throughout the year.
Well said, Kevin, and also we want to thank Gary Watkins and his Memorial Center staff, always bending over backwards to help us out when we want to put a camera in a new location or try something different. And without everyone's cooperation, this volunteer Peterborough Pete's telecast just wouldn't come together, never come to fruition. And we want to thank everybody who helped out. And Kevin, I hope you're back again next year. We missed you in the first half of the season. I know you filled in to help us out. And Brian Sage has been on the sick list a little bit lately, our statistician, but it's great to have the two of you beside me in the press box for this final game of the season.
And I think also, Gary, for the people in Windsor who are watching a replay of this game, I think you can be darn proud of the hockey team that you have in Windsor, and certainly all of us here in Peterborough wish you all the best in the weeks to come and the days to come, because it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but I think the Windsor Spitfires will be there to answer the call, and I know myself, I think they're a pretty darn good hockey team.
Mike Ricci with the slap shot scores! Mike Ricci on the short side, the glove side, and it's 5-2, and all it does really is make the score a little more respectable, but nonetheless, Mike Ricci awfully happy to get a puck by Jablonski.
Mike Ricci, 2:04 left, and I think maybe just a little bit to show the Spitfires that, hey, it's just, we're not just gone just yet. And although what do we got? We got a broom. We got a broom out in the ice. But again, there you see the shot of Mike Ricci, and there you see at the top of your screen the 2:04 left. So Mike Ricci blasts one by Jablonski, and that hasn't happened too many times in this hockey game. There's Mike Ricci from the edge of the dot, filled it by Jablonski. So the Petes get within 3.
Pretty good shot to beat Jablonski from that far out, and we know Ricci can fire them. And of course, Mike Ricci would love to have a healthy 66 games next season.
Gary, I think Mike Ricci and Todd Boysoon have been two of the unsung heroes for the Petes. Really, Mike Ricci, of course, missed a couple months or so with a collarbone injury, but certainly he's been a find. And the Pete's can come up with another minor midget in the role of Mike Ricci, things really bide well for the Pete's in the years to come.
It's going to be hard to make this Pete's team in training camp next season. Brown with a shot. Look out now. 17 is Allen. I don't think he's had 3 shifts in the game. And Ty Domi says, you want to go? I'll take you. But the linesman Nieuwendyk had Ty Domi from behind, and Ty looked like a bit of a puppet there for a moment, pulled back.
And I'm sure Gil Nieuwendyk is just talking to him. Now Dave Lynch is going to get in the act. He's going to whistle him off.
It'd really be a shame to see fighting with 1 minute and 16 seconds left in the hockey game. Wouldn't prove anything, wouldn't accomplish very much, and really 5-2, Windsor have dominated the hockey game. They've deserved every goal they have, and the goaltending of Pat Jablonski again early in the first period, but especially early in the second when the score was 2-0. Jablonski made some outstanding stops, and then Windsor went down the ice, scored the third Peterborough goal, and that just might have been the turning point in the hockey game.
Right. I think so, Gary, and also too, you know, you got to look at Adam Graves. You know, winners sort of breed winners, and you know, Adam Graves started out with the Detroit Red Wings, an organization that's on a high right now. He comes back to the Windsor Spitfires and just picks it up from there. He represents Canada, winning a gold medal in Europe at Christmas time, and not an easy thing to do. Of course, Jody Hull and Danny Curry, 2 other players in the league, I think in my estimation was the best line for Canada in that whole tournament. And now here he's going to win an OHL championship, and within 1 minute and 16 seconds we'll go to Chicoutimi, and who knows what holds in store there. But again, Adam Graves, quite a year for the young man, and I'm sure his NHL future will be greatly influenced by the play here in Windsor. You know, he's been a winner this year, and certainly we wish him all the best in the future. There are offsetting penalties to Jamie Allen and Ty Domi. And Billy Heward, rather. Ty Domi picks up 10-minute misconduct for his work, so he will sit there the rest of the hockey game.
Jody Hull looking for a shot. Jablonski made the save, then batted the puck into the air. Just over 1 minute left in the 87-88 Ontario Hockey League season. Pete's trail 5-2. Windsor just a minute away from a sweep in the series. Jody Hull in his own zone. A lot of the fans hanging in here at the Memorial Center, waiting for the official trophy presentation by Commissioner Dave Branch. Freer carries it over the blue line, stops. Jody Hull picks up the puck. Corey Foster wanted to let it go, but was checked too closely. 35 seconds to go, and the Peterborough fans showing they appreciate all the hockey that's been played here in this series and this season.
Gary, that's excellent, because certainly the Petes have put on a pretty good show. Listen, they're playing the same number of games as the Windsor Spitfires this year. They haven't come out in the winning end of it, but I'm sure a lot of the people here are thinking, hey, next year could be our year, and things could be a little bit different. And certainly the people here, and I'm sure the Pete's players recognize the appreciation that the fans here in Peterborough have for them.
2 seconds, and there you have it. The Windsor Spitfires, the 1987-88 Ontario Hockey League champions, sweeping the Peterborough Petes in the minimum 4 games, a 5-2 victory in Thursday's final at the Memorial Center. Pat Jablonski being mobbed by his players. It's been a great series for that goaltender. Number 35 has really been hot in this series. At the other end of the ice, the Peterborough Petes trying to console themselves. Tom Webster being hugged by Adam Graves and a couple of players, and there you see Terry Boubert, Ty Domi, Dick Todd, and the Petes.
And the Petes do not have to hold their heads down, Gary. They've represented the city here very well, had an excellent year. And hey, this was the year of the Windsor Spitfires. Hey, next year could be the year of the Peterborough Petes. And Dallas Aiken's going to lead the handshaking, but I'll tell you, they're not just a 2-bit outfit that's going to represent this league in the Memorial Cup. And again, I'll say it, we wish them all the best. They're a fine representative, and they should do well.
And of course, the ceremonial handshake at center ice. Pete's wishing Windsor all the best of luck whenever a team leaves the OHL to represent this league at the Memorial Cup. You've got to hope that they're going to come up and win those Memorial Cup rings and trophies, because it's a reflection on everyone who plays in this Ontario Hockey League, from Windsor to Ottawa and Cornwall in the east, and it's an exciting moment for the franchise, the Windsor Spitfires.
And the two teams there, you see them lined up at center ice. Windsor Spitfire there at the white coat. That's Jeff Mascarin, who separated his shoulder in game 2 here. And it'll be interesting, him and Ty Domi are very good friends from the Windsor area. And I'm sure they'll have words, because it was actually the check of Ty Domi, a very clean check, when he went into the boards and separated his shoulder. And I'm sure they'll have a few words. And I'm to say best of luck.
As a matter of fact, Ty Domi is having a long chat with many members of the Spitfires.
Windsor's his hometown, Gary, and it's always, I'm sure Ty Domi would sure like to be winning here rather than on the losing end of it, but hey, it is his hometown. I'm sure he'll hear a lot about it.
Domi just coming to center ice and talking now to Jeff Mascarin. Ty, of course, wishes Mascarin was as healthy as do the Windsor Spitfires. So it's been another great year for the Ontario Hockey League, culminating in a 5-2 victory for the Windsor CompuWare Spitfires over the Petes in the 4th game of this best-of-7 OHL final. We hope again for the fans on Cable 11 in Windsor and Cable 6 in Peterborough, you've enjoyed watching each and every game of this series through our exchange with Cable 11 in Windsor. And just over by the penalty box on the table is the big hardware.
Pete showing their appreciation to the fans. This is the Windsor Spitfires hour. Let them have center stage.
It's high fives all
By the way,
around.
let's do our 3 stars right now. If we get a chance, guys, I don't know whether you even have a chance to roll them up, but I don't think, Gary, there was any question through the whole series. Pat Jablonski was the star. He proved it again here tonight in the first part of this hockey game with some great plays. We named Pat Jablonski #1 star. Darren Shannon with 2 goals and an assist tonight as our 2nd star. And Adam Graves for an excellent series throughout this hockey game, or throughout the series rather, and an excellent hockey game here tonight. So our 3 stars, Pat Jablonski, Darren Shannon, and Adam Graves. But again, it's the Windsor Spitfires' finest hour. Here comes Adam Graves along with the commissioner of the OHL, Mr. David Branch, to present that trophy. And I'm sure we'll have a little skate around the ice, and I'm sure the Peterborough fans will show a lot of appreciation to the Windsor Spitfires.
We can get a shot of the trophy right at center ice now. We can see the official presentation being made by Commissioner David Branch. Adam Graves, back from the Detroit Red Wings to the Windsor CompuWare Spitfires. And that's what it's all about, that piece of hardware as they make the ceremonial skate around the ice here at the Memorial Center. Somebody faking a drop.
There they are, a happy bunch of young people, and deservedly so, Gary. They were the class of the league, and certainly in the other division, and I hate to keep saying it, but they're going to represent the OHL well. I don't think there's any question about that.
They're just coming below us in our broadcast location here in the press box at the Memorial Center, and Kevin, it's just starting to sink in, I think. Everybody.
Makes the 5-hour bus ride back to Windsor a little bit happier too, Gary.
That's going to be the noisiest bus ride the Windsor Spitfires have ever had.
Everyone taking their turn. Even Jeff Mascarin with one hand wants to get his hands on it. A lot of hard work, Gary. People don't realize what a junior hockey team has day in, day out. You see them on here in Peterborough on Thursday night and the odd Saturday night, but they don't realize the work that each of these kids put in, and hey, that's the payoff.
Kevin, a couple of brooms still on the ice. A couple of the Pete's fans brought a couple of brooms along just to indicate the sweep in this series. And again, some interviews taking place down at ice level with key members of the Windsor Spitfires, especially Pat Jablonski, who I think if you're going to pick one player who was a star in this series, it would go to the Windsor goaltender. I
don't think there's any question about that, Gary. He was the backbreaker as far as the Petes were concerned, and he was in every game he was a star, and as I say, hopefully he will be the guy that'll lead them to the Memorial Cup.
Jeff, congratulations, the OHL championship. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels great. It feels great. Oh.
Did you ever think this could happen?
We've been planning this all year, and and we've been working towards this all year, and we've had our goals set for this and plus the Memorial Cup, and it's just one story come true. There's still one more big one.
Okay, way to go, Jeff. Steve, right over here. Go, Rever. What do you want? Pat, congratulations, buddy. Thanks, Tom. Played in all 4 games in the playoffs. You played in most of the games in the last 2 series. Any mental fatigue?
Well, I don't know. I can't really tell you right now. I'm on too much of a high after winning this game. More of a physical fatigue, I'd say, than a mental, but it is a mental stress going through all these games.
Did you think you could sweep Peterborough 4 games?
Well, going into it, we weren't going to say we were going to lose. We were confident. We wanted to win all 4, but it just doesn't seem real. You know, they have a really good team, but we did it. We won all 4, and now we go off Memorial Cup.
A great way to finish your junior career.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, it is. When I went to Peoria this year, something was missing, and the trip to the Memorial Cup was it. You know, I didn't think I'd ever get another chance, and then Christmas time I came back and I got another chance, and here we go.
I guess now you got something to brag about against your brother.
Well, yeah, well, not yet. He won the NCAA championships, and now I made it to the tournament. Now we just got to win it, and then I have the bragging to do.
Okay, Pat, good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Tom.
Tommy, after the first period, the team started a little bit slow. What was said in the dressing room between the first and second period?
Well, I told them a joke. I just wanted them to relax. Again, we were a little uptight, and it was a case where I just want to relax and go out there and do the things we're capable of doing and let the things fall where they'll fall.
Of course, you were a player for the Niagara Falls Flyers, and you won an OHL championship. Now you're the coach of the Peterborough Spitfires, another OHL championship. Any difference in championships?
Well, I think it's more gratifying because when you're a coach, you're in charge of all these individuals, and you brought them along to see what they can experience now. And as a player, of course, it's tremendous to win any kind of a championship, but as a player, you experience it as a personal thing.
Okay, Coach, good luck in Chicoutimi.
Thank you.
Sonny, staying with number 22, J.P. Gorley. He's been a member of the Peterborough Spitfires for 4 years now. He's been with the team through all the thick and thin, the worst and the best of time. JP, got to be a satisfying feeling for you.
Well, that's for sure. I've been in the league for 4 years, like you said, and even if it would have been 2 years ago, I can't say if I'd be as happy as I am today, but this is my happiest day in junior hockey.
Okay, did you feel that the team could sweep them 4-0?
I didn't even think we were going to sweep Hamilton, to tell you the truth, but it feels great to be 12-0 in the playoffs, and we're ready for Chicoutimi.
Okay, good luck in Chicoutimi.
Thanks a lot, Dom.
Okay, right here. I want to do one with Jones. Let's get some guys there. Good, buddy. Congratulations. Good game. Standing with Ron Jones now, number 11. Ron, second trip to Memorial Cup for you. Any better this time?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Last year, last time I went, it wasn't as exciting. You know, we didn't win anything. You know, this year we win the OHL championship. Great. It's a great feeling. It's unbelievable.
Any difference in this championship than the WHL championship?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to say this is a lot sweeter here because, I don't know, just because I'm here right now, I know, and the feeling's great.
Okay, Ron, good luck up in Chicoutimi.
Thanks a lot, Don.
Yeah, Woj too. Gravy, can we get you over here? Congratulations, true man. Hammer, way to go, buddy. It's right here, Steve. Standing with Spitfire captain now, Adam Graves. Adam, how does this compare to the World Junior Championship?
Well, it's a little different thing. It's the biggest thing in my life up to this point right now. And at that point in my life, that was the biggest thing. So every step's gradual, and I enjoy every one, and I'm just starting to enjoy this. It was a big accomplishment. You know, we brought back championship for Windsor, but you know, our quest isn't over yet. We have bigger, better things to go on to, and that's the Memorial Cup. And we got to work hard, concentrate, and get prepared for that big tournament.
You gonna have room for all the hardware?
If we can win it, we'll make room for it, that's for sure.
Okay, good luck in Chicoutimi, Adam.
Thank you very much.
Standing now with number 12, Mike Wolak, a player that I've been trying to interview all season for the Spitfire fans, but because of his shyness, we've had a hard time. He promised this interview to me after the OHL championship, so I'm taking him up on his promise. Mike, did you think you could sweep Peterborough in 4 games?
Well, Dom, I didn't know if we were going to sweep them, but I had so much confidence in this team. We got so much depth that I knew we were going to come through.
Okay, how do you get ready for Chicoutimi now?
Well, first of all, we're going to enjoy a couple days here, enjoy winning the OHL championship, and then we're going to work our butts off next week. and we're going to win it all.
Okay, one last question, Mike. What did you think was the key point in the series for the Spitfires? What did you think they did that won the championship?
I think the key for us was strong goaltending, and we won the first game in their barn. It gave us a lot of confidence coming back to Windsor. We went up 3-0, and we came in here and we just knew we were going to win.
Okay, Mike, good luck in Chicoutimi, and we'll see you in Windsor.
All right.
Well, Kevin, I think it's just about time to put the wraps on the '88 hockey season here at the Memorial Center. Again, thanks to everyone, as we mentioned earlier, who cooperated and helped put our telecast together during the regular season. Our crew, yours truly, Kevin Barron, Brian Sage, Don Barry with the interviews, Robert Skuzalin, who helped out, Joe Lamantia, Barry Todd, Karen Tarkenton, Dave Leeson, who helped out with continuity, David Mose, Floyd Epgrave, Grant Johnston, Barry Todd, and Tim Cadigan down in the truck. Just an excellent job, fellas, and we've really enjoyed working with each and every one of you through the 87-88 OHL season. We hope you're back again next season for Pete's Hockey Replay here at McLean Hunter Cable TV, Channel 6 Peterborough. Thanks for viewing.